presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Well, today we close the lid on a 162-game season. It's the Milwaukee Brewers and the Colorado Rockies, and the crowd filing in for the final time here at Coors Field in downtown Denver. And we've got a home run race in front of us. Chris Carter of the Brewers, Nolan Arenado of the Rockies tied for the home run lead. The Brewers and the Rockies, game 162 here this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And hi, everybody, we welcome you from Coors Field. Great to be with you, our last time with you. It's been a joy to be here for all of these games. Brewers don't have the record they were looking for, but the Brewers actually played a lot better than many expected here, Rock. And this is going to be a fun day today. We've got a lot planned for you. Bob Uecker's coming on with us. David Stearns will be with us as well. And we've got a home run race right in front of us for this final game.
Yeah, and both of these guys are in the lineup. And Chris Carter has 2 home runs in this series. He trailed Arenado by 1 coming into the series, but he came up with a big one last night. 2 outs, nobody on in the 10th inning, an extra innings, and he launched a 3-2 slider out of the ballpark way back for Chris Carter. So that means that he and Arenado are in a deadlock at 41 home runs. You can see those two getting together before the game. Nothing going on the field except for the 2 home run guys looking to be the home run champions. Right now they're tied. We'll see what happens when the day is over today.
Well, this is a lot of fun. What a bonus to have a real-life home run derby and a home run race. A lot of sportsmanship there before the game. And now we're ready to get going from Coors Field in Denver. Jonathan Villar's a big story as well. He's a home run shy of a 20-homer, 60 stolen base season. Sophia Minnaert with more on that story when we continue from Denver.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. The final game of the 2016 baseball season. We have first pitch coming up in just a few minutes, and on a bullpen day for Craig Counsell and the Brewers, it'll be Tyler Cravey getting the start. He's making his second start of the season, his third stint with the team. Counsell hoping he can get a few innings out of Cravey, and then it'll be a bullpen day out of there. And good afternoon, everyone from Coors Field. I'm Sophia Minner, and certainly we're keeping an eye on Chris Carter and Nolan Arenado, who will be crowned the home run king here this Sunday afternoon in Denver. But also for Jonathan Villar, he's been one of the great success stories of this 2016 Brewers season. It's been a breakout year, and he has a chance to make this a historic season as well, as he chases 20 home runs, 60 stolen bases, already leading the league with 61. You see the numbers for him, a .284 average, hoping to get that 20th homer here today. Here's what Villar had to say about a very successful first year with Milwaukee.
Finish it wrong, and I don't care if he finish home 19 home run or 20 home run. I want to finish it wrong because that he wanted like that. David, he told me finish it wrong. I don't care if he, hit a home run. Counsell, he told me too. So, but I want to finish it hard because that's a sample for the other guy. So next year he'll come in better.
Jonathan Villar hoping to get that 20th home run. Chris Carter looking to become a home run king here today. The final first pitch of the season. BA and Rob will bring it to you here from Coors Field coming up next.
And looking to prove the future is bright in Milwaukee. Today we get our last look at the 2016 Brewers with a historical stat looking to be accomplished and a home run title on the line. It's game 162 and the season finale on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Well, and on a day that Vin Scully will hang him up for good, it's my pleasure to say it's time for Brewers baseball. The Brewers and the Rockies this afternoon. And our telecast on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. What a beautiful day for baseball. 78 degrees. With Sophia Minard and Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Our producer, Brent Reeland, director, Mark Vittorio, and Brian Mikologic on graphics with Lisa Rodriguez running the tape machines. Craig Counsell and the Brew Crew will line them up for the final time here today. And let's check that Counsell batting order that will face German Marquez up from Double-A. It'll be Villar, Jeanette, and Carter, Santana, Perez, and Arcia in the middle with Susac, Elmore, and Cravey rounding out the starting 9, courtesy of Potawatomi. And there is German Marquez. He's making his 3rd start, his 6th overall big league appearance. Spent most of the year at the Double-A level in Hartford. And he will face Jonathan Villar to get us started today. The first pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike, and away we go.
Yeah, he's only 21 years old, making start number 3, appearance number 6. 21 years old. Wow.
How about that? Born in 1995 as Villar sends one to right. Well hit. That is off the wall. And Villar on his way to second base with a double to start the game.
Well, Villar picking on a pitch up in the strike zone and giving it a ride. Had a little topspin on it. That 2-seam fastball for Marquez. And well, Villar put a nice swing on it. A good start to the day for Milwaukee.
Well, Villar with 19 home runs, one away from becoming the 4th player to have 20 homers and 60 stolen bases in a season. Good interview with Sophia before our game today. And great work by our Brewers Live crew and their tribute to Vin Scully. All of the games across Major League Baseball starting right about now. Some are 2:05 starts, some are 2:15 starts, but they're all underway at this point of the day, and which is going to set us up for a very dramatic finish to the season, one would expect.
A couple of big games in the National League. The Cardinals have a game they need to win, and so do the Giants.
You got Vin Scully's final day, final broadcast, a 67-year career coming to an end. You have 6 different games that could affect the postseason and the wild card race. And everybody's underway. Look at all those ones up there indicating first inning. Great move by baseball, scheduling it this way. Could create some high drama in a couple of hours. Runner at second for Scooter Jeanette. And he swings and fouls one away.
By the way, good way to start. Were you thinking about that last night? You know, the Vin Scully?
I just thought about it as we were in the
Just now?
commercial, thinking I want to do what I wanted to do is just not say anything for the first inning. Because who could ever be as great as Vin Scully doing this job, right? So for us play-by-play announcers, there will never be that level achieved again, and it almost makes sense just to lay out.
Well, just look at it this way: with Vin retiring, you all go up in the power rankings.
Yeah, we all move up one spot.
Yeah.
Yes. There's Vin, and then there is everybody else, and we've got some nice Vin Scully tributes as well. And we're going to hear from Bob Uecker today. Bob's coming over. He's going to join us in the booth in the 7th inning. And we'll talk about the season and his future and talk about Vin as well. David Stearns is going to join us as well, the Brewers general manager. And we'll kind of get a wrap on what he has seen this season. And then here specifically in Denver, we've got this great home run race to follow with Carter and Arenado. Jeanette, a swing and a miss, and down he goes on strikes. First out is a strikeout for German Marquez.
He's got a good arm. He throws in the mid-90s.
And here comes Chris Carter. A great moment before the game. The 2 public relations, media relations directors put that together, where Carter and Arenado came together just behind home plate. And these 2 share the top spot in the National League. 41 home runs. Carter hit a dramatic home run in the 10th inning last night to give the Brewers the win. He's hit 41 homers. That was the first one he has hit in extra innings this season.
And no cheapie to left. They're the 2 home run kings. Could end up in a deadlock if neither one of them hits one today. So good seasons for both.
That seems like a very old school thing to do. You used to see players come together like that quite often for various reasons. But you rarely see that now because the schedules are so opposite, road team versus home team. A really great gesture by the two players and good idea, whoever came up with that, from the media relations departments to get them out there. And there were a lot of fans here in the ballpark at the time, so there was a nice ovation for the two. Carter, little half swing foul. And it's 0-2 on Chris Carter. Carter has homered in each of the first two games of this series. Arenado homered first in the first inning of game one here. You don't get a whole lot of reaction and emotion out of Chris Carter, but you know leading the league in home runs is something he would very much like to do. VR at second base, and Carter takes a ball low and away.
Carter jumped all over a slider on a 3-2 pitch last night in the 10th. 2 outs, nobody on, and he launched one about 3/4 of the way up in the bleachers and left. A moonshot.
1-2 the count to Carter. And he slices one into right field. That is going to be caught by Gonzalez. Heck of a play. Carlos Gonzalez at the last moment reaches up to haul that one in. And an extended ovation for the great right fielder, a former Gold Glover.
Yeah, just jumping up right at the last second, able to haul it in right in front of the warning track. Let's check out the rest of the defense for the Colorado Rockies, brought to you by Menards. You got Dahl Blackman and Carlos Gonzalez. You just saw him make a nice play. Arenado, Adames, Valleca, and Patterson from third to first, and Tom Murphy hanging the signs for German Marquez today.
So 2 outs. Here is Domingo Santana. VR still at second base. Santana rolls one to third base. That is fair. Arenado throws off balance, and that will retire the side. We are off and running. Number 162 today in Denver. No score. We go to the home half of the first inning with the Rockies coming up, and there is Walt Weiss, and there is plenty of speculation that this will be his final game managing the Colorado Rockies. The Denver Post reporting that earlier today. So if in fact that is the case, he will be 4 years as the Rockies skipper. His lineup today brought to you by Potawatomi. It's Blackman, Dahl, and Arenado, Gonzalez, Murphy, and Patterson in the middle with Valleca, Adames, and Marquez rounding out the starting 9, and a spot starter on the mound for the Brewers. Tyler Cravey gets the call today. There was a lot of guesswork going into who it might be, and Cravey will be the first one out in what Craig Counsell is describing as a bullpen day today, Rock.
Hey, you figure if you get 3 innings out of Crave, you got to be happy. His only start this year came at Cincinnati on May 6th. That was when Willie Peralta was on paternity leave. 3rd different time he's been with the Brewers this year. He's made 13 consecutive scoreless outings out of the bullpen.
Cravey delivers to Blackman. And 2 balls and a strike to count. No Ryan Braun in the lineup today, and most of the starting pitchers have been in shutdown mode the last week. It started with Junior Guerra as Blackman turns on one. That's going to hook foul, though. Wow, that ball is hit a long way, but Blackman got out ahead of it. Yeah, Junior Guerra, Zach Davies, both shut down for the rest of the season. Matt Garza shut down after his last start against the Texas Rangers. Willie Peralta, of course, pitched very well for his final start of the season last night. And so this one belongs to the bullpen today.
Well, there's plenty of them out there.
This will have a feel of a spring training game. Now the bullpen getting ready. So who do you get? I got the 2nd. How about I'll take the 3rd. How about you get the 4th? All right, if you can't get through the 4th, I got the 5th. And there's a high fly ball, and that one is not coming back. Charlie Blackman with his 29th home run of the season gives the Rockies the early lead here today.
Almost the same pitch that he hooked foul. This one he was able to wait back a little bit longer. It was down and in. Knocked it out of here, kept this one fair, and launched it high, and able to drop it in that first deck out there. They got the high fence here in Coors Field. Plenty high enough, and able to give the Rockies an early lead.
And so it's 1-0 right out of the gates for the Rockies offensively. 29th homer, 81st RBI for Charlie Blackman. He's also in the top 4 in the league in hitting. There's a roller to first, or should I say a little roller up along first. And David Dahl is out. 1 away here in the first inning.
Why don't you just do it for the whole game? You could do that.
I could.
Hey, let's check out the Menards defense for Milwaukee. No Ryan Braun. He's got the sore wrist, so his season's pretty much over. You got Elmore, Perez, and Santana in the outfield. You know, no real changes in the infield. VR, Arcia, Jeanette Carter, and Andrew Susak gets the nod behind home plate on this final day of the season.
So 1 away. Here is Nolan Arenado now. And you might be able to hear the cameras clicking with every pitch to Arenado. You never know when the one swing might produce the home run title. Arenado's going to win the RBI title this year in the National League. He's a runaway train in that category. He's driven in 133 runs this season. That's where he ranks. He's tops in homers, RBIs, total bases, 2nd in runs scored. And Cravey walks him. And a man on here with a run in and 1 out.
MVP type numbers for Arenado. If only the Colorado Rockies had a better season as a team.
Tell you, the Rockies with a better bullpen, they could easily be contending right now. They score enough runs. They have great defense. Got a couple of Gold Glovers in their infield. And remember, they've got a very good young shortstop who was injured in Trevor Story. He'll be coming back next year.
Yeah,
their bullpen has given them lots of troubles.
Offense is first in runs, batting average, hits. They can put some runs on the board. Just got to keep the opponent off the board.
Here's Carlos Gonzalez, Cargo, sitting on a .299 batting average this season. We love round numbers in baseball, and it wouldn't surprise me if Gonzalez got a hit if Aldweiss didn't remove him from the game. He would hit 300 for the year with 25 homers and 100 RBIs.
And Not too many better players in baseball when he's healthy. Trick has been for him is to stay healthy and be out on the field.
2-0 the count on Cargo. Takes a strike. Ryan Braun's going to finish inside the top 10 in batting. Not in the lineup today, and Counsell said he would not pinch hit Braun today, so his season is over. A .305 batting average for Braun, 30 homers, 90 runs batted in for him. And that one in on the hands a little bit. Ranging over is Santana. He's got it for the out. And 2 gone now. 2 outs in the first. We check in with Sophia, third member of our team. She's got more on Ryan Braun. What do you have, Sophia?
Well, that's right. That's always a topic of conversation as we wrap up the season here. And Craig Counsell said for him to play 135 games, that is absolutely a successful season for Braun to avoid time on the disabled list. And a lot of that just goes back to the plan laid out at spring training with Braun coming off of the back surgery, communication, giving him days off, the maintenance all day, giving credit to the trainers for making that happen. And he said more importantly, Braun can now go into the offseason feeling healthy and probably in a better place than he has been in the last 4 or 5 seasons. And he says that can't be underestimated for him to have the production he did, to go into the offseason healthy. And their expectation is that he can maintain this moving forward.
Well, and then the wonder for all of us is, has he played his final game in a Milwaukee Brewers uniform with all the trade speculation? Only time will tell.
That's what I was going to say. But you know, last couple of years it was the thumb that was giving him a problem during the offseason, and last year it was the back surgery. He's not going to have to deal with that this year.
And hit by a pitch is Tom Murphy. Cravey let one get away. And 2 men are on now.
And that was a changeup from Cravey. And just let it slip away. So rough first inning for Cravey.
You can see Cravey trying to squeeze the moisture out of that baseball. It is very dry today in Denver. Yeah, just brushed the back of Murphy, who had the big hit, a pinch hit RBI that tied the game last night. So 2 men are out, 2 on, and here is Jordan Patterson. One thing to remember about Tyler Cravey is that he pitched 2 innings on Friday, so he's coming back on what would be considered very short rest, and even though he was very efficient on Friday, can't imagine that he would be fully fresh and 100% today.
Well, he was probably asked if he could go, and you know what his answer was going to be. He pitched 2 scoreless innings on Friday, 6 up, 6 down.
Now this will get him out of the inning. It should. Arcia makes a play, and Patterson is out to end the inning. Leadoff home run by Charlie Blackmon. Rockies on top, 1-0.
A 1-0 lead here at Coors Field, and on the final game of the 2016 season, Craig Counsell said the message to his team was the same as the very first day, and he said what we're stressing here is a commitment to win games on a daily basis and effort and competition on a daily basis as well. He says that doesn't change. It'll be the same next season as well. He asked if he considered this season to be a successful one. He said, you know, sitting at 72 wins right now, we set out to explore and develop young guys. He said we certainly feel like we've done that. The guys have done a great job of competing and putting forth good effort every day. But he said bottom line, 72 wins isn't good enough. So he said it's hard to be satisfied when you're competing but not winning enough games. So overall likes what he saw from his young team.
Yeah, and he's walking that line too, Rock. He knows this team is in a rebuild mode, but he's a manager and he wants to win as many games as he can, and he knows there are areas of cleanup for the Brewers. And while he's excited about the future and where this organization is going, he does not take losses lightly.
And that's exactly what a manager has to say. But I mean, when it really comes down to it, this has been a very successful season for this team, in that I think going into the year next year, they have some guys they can count on and guys that they probably didn't think they could count on. I mean, Hernan Perez and Junior Guerra, Zach Davies. I mean, it's been a very successful year, and I think they far exceeded expectations. I think everybody thought this team, and we've talked about this a lot, everybody thought this team was going to lose 100 games.
Now we're going to have David Stearns join us in the third inning. We'll get into some of that with him, but the bottom line of it all is every baseball team is trying to find depth, trying to look at their organization and know where they have players they can count on, if there's an area where they could trade, an area of strength. And the Brewers have actually mined a lot of depth here this season because of the situation they were in, and some of it's luck, some of it you got to give credit to the player development department.
So and the other thing is, a lot of the really good young talent that the Brewers have picked up over the last year, we haven't even seen yet. Right. They're down in the low minor leagues, so this is a long-term endeavor. You know, Craig Counsell, the only way he would say this has been a terrific season is if he won the World Series. And he knows what that feels like.
Arcia at the plate. Perez was hit by a pitch. He's at first. And Arcia lays off.
And you just saw a shot of Keon Broxton. Yeah, another guy that really stepped it up. His fourth time being called up, finally figured it out. Unfortunately, he broke that wrist at Wrigley Field.
Three and one to Arcia. Swing and a high fly ball into center field. Blackman going back, looking in the sun, and he lost the ball. And now Perez is going to try to wind it up. He'll try to score. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Perez is in. And the Brewers have tied it up quickly here in Denver.
Boy, no home field advantage for Charlie Blackman right there, looking right back into that sun. They don't have the flip downs, and it doesn't give you as much of an advantage with those regular sunglasses. And he got there, just lost it. That's what he's looking at. Bright sunshine today. It's a beautiful day, and you know, Arcia gave it a pretty good ride, but a little off the end. All really carrying and playing shallow is, you know, Blackman out there. He just lost it. And some aggressive base running by Perez to score.
So a double and an RBI for Arcia ties the game at 1. And here is Andrew Susac now with Arcia at second base. Susac will certainly be part of the plans next season. He is going to be fighting for a job behind the plate. Came to the Brewers in the Will Smith deal with the Giants. He was in AAA with the Giants.
He hasn't had a whole lot of playing time since being recalled. It's been basically Maldonado and Pena. And you figure with his experience, he's been in the big leagues before with some pretty good teams, the Giants. They'll give him a shot in spring training.
Well, Susac's old team, the Giants, underway against the Dodgers at home today. The Giants have to win to make the postseason, and they're off to a good start. They're up 2-0 over the Dodgers in the top of the second inning. Teams that have to win to make it as Arcia takes off and a belly flop into third base.
And he just stuck into third base. I mean, the dirt's got to be a little bit wet. He tried to head first slide and a good heads up base running. Able to steal third base. Check this out.
Nobody really paying attention.
Little
Just a
flip
lob
back
throw.
to the pitcher's mound, and Arcia taking advantage of it. How about that? That's the other thing that has been a lot of fun to watch. These guys have been busting it.
They play hard. They're smart.
They're aggressive. They've been making mistakes, but they've learned from them for the most part. And that young man's going to be a good player.
He's probably taken a little bit of heat from his dugout after that slide. I'm glad he's okay. That's a 22-year-old body contorting like that. That's a lot better than a 30-year-old body for sure, but it didn't look pretty. When those feet start to go above the head, you know there's not a lot of slide in the slide.
Early in the game, they wet down the field, and he just sticks. There's no glide there.
He's all smiles, though. That's a good sign. Susac strikes out. A wave and a miss.
Marquez with a pretty good breaking pitch. Got some big sweeping break on it. And Susac tried to pull it. They call it a roundhouse breaking pitch. It has a big sweeping break to it. This one going down.
So here is Jake Elmore. Chance to drive in a run. Infield is in for the Rockies on this bright sunny day in Denver.
Brewers have been very fortunate with the weather on this road trip.
Yeah, ideal conditions in Texas. Even cooler conditions in Arlington. And then it's been picture perfect here in Denver. This will be a tough day, though, for fielders. We've already seen Blackman struggle with one with the bright sunshine, and any pop up in here is going to be a difficult play. Nothing routine, you would imagine, today in the air. Elmore, a chopper to short. Adames decides to go to first to take the sure out. Arcia got a great jump, and he scores.
Yes, he did.
Brewers take a lead, 2-1.
So steals third base. You know, the Rockies had their heads down. He steals third and then gets a terrific jump on the contact play with the infield in. Look at that secondary lead. That's the way it's done, and no chance for Adames to get him at home plate.
So 2 men are out. It's an RBI ground out for Elmore. And Arcia's wheels gets him all the way in as Tyler Cravey will bat, the Brewer pitcher. Looks like he's going back out for another inning.
Yeah, 2 runs in, and really, had Charlie Blackman caught that ball in center field, it would be an easy inning for Marquez.
Cravey is most looking forward to this moment, probably more than he is pitching in the game. He loves to hit, and he's had a memorable moment this year. He hit a home run against the Pirates at Miller Park. Not to be this time around. He is a strikeout victim, and the inning is over. But the Brewers get 2. RBI double from Arcia, RBI ground out from Elmore. Garcia with an RBI double. Brewers now lead it 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. What a day it is for scoreboard watching today. There are major games to pay attention to across baseball in the American League and National League wild card race. Basically, San Francisco, if they win, they are in. And in the American League, if Baltimore and Toronto win, they are in. Detroit needs help. St. Louis needs help. Seattle was eliminated last night. They had a tough loss against the Oakland A's.
That was a good game.
A swing and a miss underway here in the second inning. Pat Valaika against Tyler Cravey. Cravey's got him 0-2.
Chris Davis, former Brewer with 41 homers.
Yeah, he's had a big year, right?
Wow.
Had a big year. One-two to Valaika. In there, a call. It's strike three. Down it goes. Cravey with a punch out, his first.
Well, important for Cravey to be able to keep the baseball down on the corners and use that changeup. That one catches the outside corner. Good pitch.
Cravey will face Christian Adames now, the switch hitting shortstop. Takes a ball down and in. Knowing Cravey, I'm sure he's trying to figure out how in the world he can go 5 innings in this game. He's got a lead pitching in the second inning, saying I've got a whole off season to rest.
Yeah, I think Craig Counsell would be very happy with 3.
Cravey was so efficient on Friday. 6 up, 6 down. He pitched beautifully. There's a strike. It's been a good year for him too. He's established himself as a potential bullpen member next year in the big leagues. He's changed his game a little bit. This is a new look for him. There's a fly ball left field slicing it is hit deep, and Elmore will watch it into the seats.
Another guy that's been up and down quite a bit. 3rd different time he's been with Milwaukee, and this last time has been very good. Before that home run by Blackman, he'd gone 13 consecutive scoreless outings, including 2 scoreless on Friday.
This new windup that he has implemented and the varying his delivery. Sometimes he has a big leg kick, sometimes it's medium, sometimes there's hardly a leg kick at all. All disrupting the timing of the hitter as he issues a walk with 1 out. And a base runner for the pitcher Marquez.
Hey, Brewers season seat holders enjoyed the best seats at the lowest prices, plus have access to a number of exclusive rewards such as movie nights on the field, batting practice sessions, and more. Visit brewers.com/ticket plans to place a deposit on your 2017 season ticket plan today.
The pitcher Marquez up there to bunt, and he bunts it foul. Germán Marquez. Spent most of the year in Double-A. Takes a ball down and out.
Was born in 1995, partner.
Oh, man.
Man, huh? 95.
So by my math, he was born maybe weeks or days around the time you were hired as a broadcaster.
That's true. Yep.
And you're both here together today at Coors Field.
Why didn't we take a picture?
You should have.
Yeah,
That would have been great.
Yeah, he was born February 22nd of 1995. I got hired by the Brewers around, second week of February in '95.
So your first weeks on the job as an employed broadcaster, there's a baby Marquez coming into the world.
I got no picture either. Me and Marquez, we should have had a picture.
Well, maybe you can work that out.
Or Marquez and I.
And you're still here. All right, so how many years for you now, right? That's
22.
22 total. Now think about Vin Scully, 67 years.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
67 years.
I mean, incredible stuff.
Willie Mays, when he first came to the big leagues, his rookie season, Vin Scully was in his second season. That's how far back it goes with Vin. We're thinking about Vin today in Los Angeles, or rather in San Francisco, calling the Dodgers game in his final game. Blackmon lines one into right field. Santana can't get it. That's going to split the gap, head to the wall. A run's coming in. And Charlie Blackmon is having a big day so far.
Well, he's figured out that off-speed pitch from Tyler Cravey. He got one down and in his first time up, hit a home run. And check that one. You know, little off-speed pitch on the outer half of the plate, and he rips it out of the reach of Santana and all the way to the wall. And so they one-out walk, Adames able to come around to score.
In the first inning, Blackmon hit his 10th leadoff homer, just the 5th player in Major League history to do that, 6th occasion. Now he's got an RBI double. He's tied it at 2. And a fastball right by David Dahl. As the bullpen starts to stir, Rob Scahill looks like he'll be next. Hoping to start a clean inning in the 3rd if he can. On the ground to short. Arcia smoothly fires it to first. Inning is over. So we're all tied at 2. It's been the Charlie Blackmon Show for the Rockies. Behind that beard, one of the great hitters in the big leagues. David Stearns next. In Denver, last game of the year. We head to the top of the 3rd inning, and we're pleased to be joined now by David Stearns, Brewers general manager. And thanks for coming on with us.
My pleasure.
Can you believe we've arrived at 162 here?
It's been a fast season. They always go by really fast. This one certainly seems like it's flown by.
I'm guessing you're in desperate need of a couple of days of no baseball, right? I mean, you and your staff have been going so hard at it for so long from the time you were hired last September to get to this point as VR bounces to Arenado, and there will be out number 1. So what is the vacation situation like for an active Major League general manager?
The vacation situation generally needs to wait a few months. We generally get a little time around the holidays, and it's certainly nice to get away. But the off season starts for us tomorrow, and we get back to work tomorrow to evaluate what has happened this year. What we like, what we didn't like, and how we can improve going forward. certainly everyone needs a little bit of time to exhale, and we try to make sure that everyone gets that as well, and can come back strong. And it's an exciting time of year for the front office for sure.
Now, David, before we get into the team, what has surprised you about this job, your job as GM in your first season? What sticks out in your mind?
I think the most surprising aspect, which frankly some people had counseled me on prior to getting the job, is how much time you spend in this position on non-baseball matters. You spend a lot of time with whether it's media, which I of course love you guys, or
we're not media, by the way.
You just lobbed the greatest insult to him you could possibly offer. No, go ahead.
Or other capacities of the job, season ticket holders, sponsorships, and that's a big component of this job, and it's an important component of this job. But it's different than the other positions I've held before, and balancing that time with the actual responsibilities of the baseball part of it is important, and certainly a learning process.
It's had to have been a lot of fun watching this guy up at the plate right now, Chris Carter, 41 homers, and
he doesn't get cheapened on any of them for sure. The one he hit last night was pretty impressive, and he's been remarkably consistent all year. It's been fun to watch. It's obviously big time power. We knew that coming in. He's been able to stay with his approach, stay up the middle, use the whole field, and it's paid off.
Well, that's a quick inning. You don't mind staying another half inning?
I'll stick around.
Got nowhere to go.
Good.
3 up, 3 down. Carter is out on strikes, and we are headed to the bottom of the third. More with David Stearns after this. Continues for Rob Scahill. He gets the third inning, and David Stearns continues with us. Thanks for coming on, David. It's nice to wrap up the season with you. First, we got some news to deliver. We read the other day, and we talked to you on the field, the affiliate situation. You guys are back in Colorado Springs for AAA, but you're excited about the move in A-ball, right? The Carolina Mudcats are going to be a Brewers affiliate now.
We are. I had the chance to head out to Zebulon a couple of days ago, meet with the front office there, tour the facility. It's a first-class facility, first-class organization, tremendous developmental atmosphere for our organization. And that's a big part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the best affiliates we can at each level, allow our younger players, our prospects, to develop in the best environment possible.
Arenado sends one to right. Santano's playing deep, and he'll make the catch for the out.
And certainly the Carolina Mudcats are one of the preeminent minor league franchises in baseball, and it's in a great league, the Carolina League, and so we couldn't be more pleased to be joining them.
Now I heard and I read the story. I haven't talked to you about this yet, but Colorado Springs does present some challenges for pitchers, and that's something you said you're going to evaluate and take a look at with your organization, with your upper-level pitchers, what exactly does that mean, and what are some of the things you've got your eye on about Colorado Springs and pitching specifically?
Well, we know it's a tough place to get outs. It's certainly tough here in Coors Field, and it's even tougher in Colorado Springs. And when I came into this position, I was firm in my belief that pitchers needed to touch every level of the minor leagues, that it was important for their development to see AAA hitters. And I think now we have to reevaluate that to some extent. That doesn't mean that we can skip everyone, because we can't. You can't skip everyone from AA to AAA. We will need to send good pitchers to AAA. We will need to send prospects there, but we need to discuss internally what types of pitchers are best suited to succeed there. And to the extent we can make that determination, it will help us with assignments going forward.
Let's talk about your team this year. Can you give us our assessment from your seat as to how this season has gone this year?
I'm pleased with the overall progress of the organization. We came into this year with a series of goals. A lot of those goals revolved around continuing the development of our young core, continuing to add talent throughout our minor league system, and really transitioning the culture of the organization. And I think we've been able to make progress in each of those. We have a long way to go. Anytime.
As Gonzalez singles up the middle.
Anytime you're sitting at game 162 and you're not moving on, you're not pleased. And so we certainly aren't pleased with the overall result, but we are pleased with the progress as an organization that we're making. And if we continue to take these types of steps forward, we'll get to where we want to go, which is to be consistently competitive.
But it has been a lot of fun this year. I mean, seeing some of these guys come, guys you didn't really count on, like Hernan Perez, Junior Guerra, really, take the next step at the major league level. It gives you confidence going into spring training next year.
It does, and it's a huge credit to our coaching staff, both at the major league level and at the minor leagues, that we've had players take big steps forward this year. And you mentioned a couple. There are others out there as well that we're equally proud of, and it's a good sign for the organization. If we can have a couple of those every year, we're going to build a pretty strong team. And as we leave this season, we feel like we have a lot more pieces that we can count on than we did entering the season, and that's certainly a good feeling to have.
So many pieces that you have acquired. I'm guessing this offseason is going to be a lot quieter than last year. You were so active last year with trades, acquisitions of players, and maybe there's not that much to do, but certainly could be some trades this offseason. So how do you approach the building of the organization this year as you really get to settle in for, it's not your first offseason, that was last year, but this is the one where this is your organization, your team, the roster that you and your team have assembled. Now you start to put the pieces moving forward.
Yeah, we've really had an unprecedented amount of roster turnover over the last 12 months, and I don't know that we will ever have that extent of turnover going forward. Having said that, we still clearly have places where we can improve, places where we can get better, and we have to stay open-minded to that. And so while I'm not sure I would expect the same volume of transactions that perhaps we saw last season, the work is going to be exactly the same. The work is going to be exactly the same, and we're still going to have to evaluate every potential opportunity, and the ones that make sense we'll execute, and the ones where we think we're in good shape, we may be able to hold off a little bit more this year.
These are a lot of the names under your name as acquisitions, and these are the ranks at MLBpipeline.com, and we throw out a lot of these rankings and Major League Baseball in a number of different areas, saying the Brewers have the best minor league system. What do you count? What's your scoreboard as a general manager, or do you even bother with all the stuff that us fans get involved with?
You know, we don't necessarily spend too much time comparing our own system to others. We're pleased with the amount of talent and the growing talent within our system. Where we stack up against the rest of the league, I'll leave for others to comment on and to write articles about, but we're pleased with where we are. That doesn't mean it can end, obviously. Our goal in this is to continually have that pipeline produce major league talent. That's true when we're in a cycle like this, and it's going to be true when we're aiming to make that next step into the playoffs. We still need that pipeline of talent coming. We need it in waves. We're beginning to build that, and that's certainly encouraging.
You plan on going to the playoffs? I mean, to the World Series? Do the GMs get together, have discussions, or kind of just sit back and do your own thing?
I'll certainly watch. I don't know that I'll be in any ballparks live, but I will certainly I'll certainly watch all the games. I'll watch the World Series. October's a good time when you're not in the playoffs to really set your off-season agenda and your off-season strategy, and that's what we aim to do over the next month.
Well, the one place you'll be November 3rd, you'll be at Miller Park, because we have a town hall. Going to do that again. We did it last year. It was a lot of fun. This year it's open to the general public, free admission, you and Craig Counsell. And Rick Schlesinger is going to be there to talk about some of the major changes that are going to be occurring at Miller Park and the structure of the building and some of the things that the business operations will be offering. We had fun with that last year, and I think fans appreciate you doing that. That's our town hall that we'll have 7 p.m. on Thursday, November 3rd, and we'll kick it off at 8:15 p.m. Please make it a point to come join us. David and Craig Counsell, I thought you guys, especially for your first go-round last year, that was really informative and entertaining, and maybe you could talk a little bit about that relationship between you and your manager, because you've always said from day one that lock between general manager and manager is important to have a successful organization.
It's essential. It has to be airtight. It has to there has to be constant communication, constant understanding of the other person's position, the other person's role within the organization, and I think we're very fortunate that we've been able to establish that in this first year, and certainly Craig has such a unique breadth of experiences in the game, and it allows him to see the game from a variety of different perspectives. So it's an essential relationship. I've been in organizations where that relationship is very solid, and I've been in organizations where that relationship is shaky, and the entire organization feels when those two people are going in the same direction, and they also feel when those two people are pulling apart a little bit. And I think both Craig and I recognize that and have worked very hard to make sure that we're 100% aligned with each other.
I don't see too many managers more intense than Craig Counsell. I mean, even on the planes, I mean, before the game, during the game, I mean, he needs a couple of weeks off. You're going to give him some time off?
He'll get a little time off. I will say Craig maybe when he's not on camera or not in the dugout, not in game mode, certainly has the ability to loosen up, and he's been a really enjoyable guy to be around. And look, we want that intensity during the game, right? We certainly want that. We want our guys to mirror that intensity. I think we've seen that here in game 162. Craig's an intense guy. He wants to win this game, and our players follow that lead.
And know when to have a good time, know when to buckle down and get the job done, right?
Exactly right.
Well, Scahill on the mound with 2 outs. David Stearns is our guest, Brewers general manager, on this final day of the season. And a swing and a miss, and Scahill gets through the inning, as does David Stearns. You made it through a whole season with us.
Appreciate it, BA.
Media. Bill Schroeder,
No.
Media.
Yeah,
we'll get you
you like that, don't you?
Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Always fun to catch up with David. Been fun all year with all the information that he's provided us. Good run. Game 162. We're all tied at 2 in Denver. Denver, Colorado, the very scenic Coors Field, downtown Denver. Our carsoup.com trivia question today: who is the only player in Brewers history with a higher career batting average than Ryan Braun? That's a good question. 3,000 plate appearances is the minimum number. Braun has played his final game of the season, and Ryan will finish inside the top 10 in batting. He hits .305 in 135 games, 30 homers, 91 runs batted in, and 16 stolen bases this year.
Yeah.
It's a good year.
Terrific year.
Domingo Santana will lead it off.
The answer to that trivia question may surprise some folks, and those that aren't going to be looking it up on their phones.
Is it a former Rocky?
Yes.
Then I think I know who it is. Might be a fantasy camp tie in that as well, right?
Would you like to keep going?
German Marquez deals to Santana, and a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Marquez.
I got a good breaking pitch. He's got two different ones. One a little harder than the other. 21 years old. German Marquez, and making his third big league start. Good numbers down in the minor leagues, 11-6. 313 earned run average in 26 starts.
Played for a team in Double-A that did not have a home game this year. Their stadium had some delays.
One of the best names in all of baseball.
What is it?
The Yard Goats.
The Yard Goats. The Hartford Yard Goats. That's in the Eastern League, right?
Gotta love it. Got some great names, don't they?
Their stadium's fine. They just had no grass on the field because their mascot.
Because of the Yard Goats, yeah.
Hernan Perez with one away. One ball, two strikes to Perez. Hit by a pitch his last time up. Rockies got a homer from Blackman in the first. Brewers scored 2 in the second. RBIs in that second inning from Arcia and Elmore. And then the Rockies got another RBI from Blackman, a double this time, to tie the game. That's where we are here in the fourth.
And nice discussion with David Stearns, and kind of said exactly what Craig Counsell said regarding the season and how you would evaluate the season, and nothing short of playoff baseball is going to be satisfying. But I think down deep, I think everybody pretty happy with the way things went this year, given expectations and what they had going into the season, all the surprises that they had. Of course, there's a lot of things to clean up for sure, but overall, they got to be happy. They're not going to admit it, but I think they had a little bit of satisfaction in what they've been able to do this year.
Well, here is a key to the future of the Brewers, Orlando Arcia. 22-year-old shortstop. Had an RBI double his first time up. It's a little cloud cover right now. That double was sun-aided in his first at-bat in the second inning. 2 balls, check it, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Giants have added to their lead against the Dodgers. 5-0 now, San Francisco. So they look like they're on their way, barring a comeback. That would eliminate the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals do have a lead. It's 1-0 over Pittsburgh in the fourth. But if the Giants win, the Cardinals are out. If the Giants lose and the Cardinals win, the Cardinals are in. Could set us up for a tiebreaker tomorrow in that case, with the Cardinals a game back of San Francisco. If the Giants surrender that lead, lose the game, the Cardinals win their game, they'd play a tiebreaker game tomorrow, and the winner of that game would then go to New York to play in the wild card game on Wednesday. Mets are the host of the wild card game. Fly ball into right, and that's going to fall, a base hit. And Arcia off to the races. He's thinking 3 all the way, and he will make it. It's a triple for Orlando Arcia. 2-out triple, and the Brewers have the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
And a little bobble out there in right field by Gonzalez, but I don't think it would have mattered. Arcia was going to head to third base anyway, regardless of how Gonzalez picked that baseball up. They're doing a nice job. Double to center, now a triple into right center. Orlando Arcia taking that pitch away from him and hitting it hard, just out of the reach of Gonzalez out and right. And once it got by him, Arcia thinking 3 and makes it in there easily.
So often you see line drives like that from a right-handed hitter to right center slice, but that one didn't. It stayed on its line, and I think it fooled Gonzalez even a little bit. You're used to that trajectory coming back to you as a right fielder, and it never did. It had more heat on it than he thought.
You see that a lot with Ryan Braun. Ball doesn't slice. That's what happens when you go top down. You get that good backspin on it.
Susak, a swing and a miss. And he's down in the count 0-2 now. And it got him. Marquez with his 6th strikeout to end the inning. And we're still tied at 2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th in Denver. Colorado, the Lodo district. And Bucks half-season ticket packages are available, which include playoff priority and award-winning customer service from a dedicated account rep. They're on sale now. Secure your game seat for every game you attend in 2015-16. Whether it's a half-season or a full season, and own the future with a package that is right for your schedule or budget. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab.
Is that it?
Rob Scahill is back on the mound to start his 2nd inning of work. That was a meaty promo right there for the
well
Bucks.
done, by the way.
Meaty.
Able to get through it before the first pitch.
Adames on the first pitch, a bouncer to Carter. And there is out number 1 for Scahill. One interesting effect of having all of the games across Major League Baseball start at the same time. It's like a little bit of a race to see which game will end first. Right now, the Mets and the Phillies are out ahead of the gates, Rock.
Yeah.
It's a ball game race. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning already in Philadelphia. Phillies lead the Mets 1-0. Doesn't matter. The Mets have already clinched the wild card berth and the home field advantage for the wild card game. Marquez, the pitcher, takes a strike. Some of the games we're keeping an eye on right now. No score in Boston, top of the 4th inning. Toronto and Baltimore needing wins today. Orioles do have a lead 3-1 in their game against the Yankees. That's in the 5th inning. It could be nice and clean, and we'd set up for the wild card game, or it could get real messy.
Yeah, we're hoping for messy, right?
I like messy. I think messy's fun. If the 3 teams that are in the wild card picture now that are vulnerable, if they lose, talking about San Francisco, Toronto, and Baltimore, then it gets very interesting. You could have tiebreakers, makeup games, all kind of different scenarios. There's one scenario, as Marquez strikes out, one scenario where the NL wildcard game wouldn't even be, or the AL wildcard game wouldn't even be until Thursday. That would be in the absolute nuclear scenario.
Yeah.
But if everything holds up as is right now, there'd be a dark day tomorrow, Monday. And then Tuesday is the American League wildcard game. That'll be on TBS. And then Wednesday's the NL wildcard game on ESPN. And then we start the division series in the American League Thursday on TBS. Friday, the NLDS on FS1. That's the clean version of it.
Got it down pat. Well done.
Also of note, partner, they are closing down Turner Field today. Last game at Turner Field.
Yeah, so a little bit of that ceremony.
John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Greg Maddux threw out the simultaneous first pitch.
Did they all get a little bit off the corners?
They all got strikes off the edges. Right.
6 inches?
You know they did. 3 Hall of Famers made their mark at Turner Field.
Yes, sir. In which one of these wild card scenarios would you be working? Don't you know?
The only wild card scenario I'd be involved in is if Boston and Toronto got rained out today. But they're already in the 4th inning. Blackmon again, high in the air to right field, and it is off the base of the wall. Santana never saw it. And it's going to be another extra base hit for Charlie Blackmon. He's had a homer and 2 doubles now.
They got it down on the end. I mean, right off the bat, might have thought it was a home run. It would have been 30 for him. But outfielders having all kinds of problems out there in the outfield. You can see him off the end. Gets underneath of it. And check out Santana. He's shading his eyes. He's looking as though he's deking and thought it was going to be a home run, but it lands short of the wall. So both teams in the outfield having their issues.
Now Blackmon got one caught in the sun on an Arcia deep fly ball. He missed it. Arcia ended up with a double and an RBI that came in the 2nd inning. 2 outs, runner at second. Here is Dahl. David Dahl is 0 for 2. A couple of ground outs, both of those at bats against Tyler Cravey. Scahill pitching in his 2nd inning.
He's the guy you want right here, Dahl. You got Arenado on deck. That's not the guy you want to face. 2-0 to Dahl. That's why Susak's going out to having a chat with his pitcher. Rather face that guy with nobody on.
Two 2-0 the count to David Dahl, one of the top Rockies prospects. He played in the Futures game this year. Figures to be one of their starters next season. He's been playing every day in left field recent in this series. Gerardo Parra injured. Parra still has 2 years left on his deal, the former Brewer. Had an ankle injury in the last series against the Giants. Charlie Blackmon at second base. Scahill in a 2-1 count on Dahl. And he's a little late. Count goes to 2-2. Down the right field line, that's going to hook foul. Count stays at 2-2 Tyler Cravey started. It's a bullpen day for the Brewer pitching staff. Cravey went 2 innings, 2 hits, gave up 2 earned runs, had a walk and a strikeout. Scahill had a scoreless third, giving up 2 hits. Got a man at second here with 2 outs. And a little jam shot into center field. Perez will make the play to end the inning. Side retired. Scahill with a couple of scoreless innings. We go to the 5th. 2-2 game. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Back at it here in Denver at Coors Field, and we play in the 5th inning now. Marquez, the rookie on the mound, starting his 5th inning of work. He has 6 strikeouts. The Brewers as an offense this year as a team setting a major league strikeout record. A dubious statistic, but the 6 strikeouts have him at the top of the all-time strikeout list for Major League Baseball. Now you got to be known for something, right?
Yeah, both of these teams strike out quite a bit. You know, Rockies have a number of guys over 100.
No offense, Chris Carter, but he's been a part of the top 2 strikeout teams, by the way. The record that the Brewers just broke was set by the Astros in 2013. Jake Elmore swings and lines one off the pitcher, knocks his glove off. Marquez recovers to make the play.
Yeah, nice reflexes, nice reactions by Marquez to knock that one down.
A gloveless pitcher.
That ball was hit hard right back through the middle. He threw the glove down and able to keep it close enough to make the out or get the out. Drops the glove after he knocked that down the baseball. He can't throw the glove at the baseball. He didn't do that. That's a nice play. He just knocks it down, gets the baseball, and throws him out. Good reflexes.
Well, here's a nice moment here, Rock. Kirk Neuenhuis, who is injured and is going to need surgery for a sports hernia at the end of the year, announced as a pinch hitter. He is a local product, Denver native, and the Brewers are providing the ovation for him. So he'll get an at-bat, one more at-bat to finish the season for Neuenhuis, and he swings at the first pitch, and he is out. It's good to see him again. Didn't think he was going to play anymore, but nice to get an at-bat. The team you grew up rooting for. He was a huge Larry Walker fan and was a star running back here in the Denver area. Could have gone, played next level college football. D1, had a lot of D1 scholarships. And it's a one-pitch at-bat for him.
Yeah, had incredible numbers at Miller Park this year. Had he been able to do just a little bit of that, had a little bit of that success on the road.
VR dumps one into left center, a base hit. So Jonathan VR with a couple of hits today. He's 2 for 3. No home run yet. Still sitting on 19 for the season, but he's got 2 hits. Figures to get at least one more at-bat, maybe 2. Scooter Gennett will step in with 2 away in a 2-2 game. Scooter is 0 for 2. Brewers trying to break this 2-2 tie. Powerball home run leaderboard for the Brewers. Carter leads the league, leads the club with 41. Braun's going to finish with 30. VR with 19, career high. Gennett with a career high with 14. His heart wasn't in it, VR. I think it might have hit him.
Well, he took off because there's nobody at first base. He tried to, get a throw, from Patterson, but good sense of humor, doesn't he? Just when you think you can't find a guy with the energy of a Carlos Gomez, Jonathan VR shows up.
Yeah, you find one. That's true.
Loves to play the game of baseball.
Two and 1 to Gennett. 2-2 game. Brewers are trying to win this game and avoid a 90-loss season. It's not going to affect their draft position. They're going to pick 9th next year. Trying to finish the year at 73 and 89, which sounds so much better than 72 and 90.
Round numbers, right? Stay away from 90. I think everybody thought they were going to lose 100. Didn't do that.
There goes VR, and the throw to second is going to be late. Another steal for VR. So Jonathan VR with 62 stolen bases now. Just keeps adding to his major league total. He will finish the season as the stolen base champion in the National League.
Yeah, good jump. He always gets a very big lead. VR not sure where the baseball was. See how big that lead was? Just daring pitchers to throw over. Looking for the baseball. There it is. I'll stay put.
And Gennett draws a walk. So that's going to get Carter to the plate. This is the bat the Brewers want to see here with 2 on. Trying to break this 2-2 tie and perhaps giving Carter a chance to take the outright lead in the National League home run race.
Yeah, game number 160 for Chris Carter. Been able to stay in the lineup just about every day. He's only missed 2 games.
Carter lined out to deep right in the first inning. It was a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch by Gonzalez. And then he struck out looking in the third. So Carter and his 41 home runs step in with 2 on and 2 out in the Brewer 5th.
With the wind blowing out to left. Not that the wind, you don't need any help in this ballpark, but blowing out to left. Get one up in that wind.
Carter in the air to right field. Tough sun over there. Gonzalez drifting over and will make the catch to end the inning. Just missed it on the bat. The inning is over, and we are still tied at 2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning.
You get live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Coors Field in Denver, and here is Nolan Arenado ready to lead off for the Rockies in the 5th. And the new pitcher rock is Jan Marinez. He's been another nice story this season, coming to the Brewers from the Tampa Bay Rays. Was taken off their major league roster, and he has flourished in Milwaukee this year.
He's only given up 3 runs in his last 15 appearances. He's been very good. Tuesday at Texas, his last appearance. Gave up a run in an inning of work. Another nice surprise. We've been talking about some of the surprises, mentioning some names. I would put Jan Marinez in that group. He's had a nice season.
Arenado on the ground, backhanded by Arcia. Smoothly picks it up and fires a strike to first. Arenado is 0 for 2 with a walk as he grounds out here in the 5th inning. Bob Scahill went 2 scoreless. Now Marinez.
Makes it look easy out at shortstop. That was not an easy play. That backhand and nice soft hands with forehand and backhand, and certainly has shown that he's big league ready defensively.
Carlos Gonzalez now. He's fighting for a 300 batting average. With another hit, I think it'll push him over. He's 1 for 2 today, had a single to center field in the third. There's a strike from Martinez.
And if he gets it, he's probably going to be done for the day.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Take him out as soon as he gets to that number. Rockies are sitting DJ LeMahieu today. He is the batting average leader in the National League. Trying to get him a batting title. There is one caveat, though. The Rockies are closely monitoring the Nationals and the Marlins, and if Daniel Murphy pinch hits and has a hit, that would take him over, put him over LeMahieu, and then you'd see Walt Weiss probably ask LeMahieu to get an at bat at some point. Walt Weiss said he's not playing LeMahieu until Murphy plays in Washington.
That was a good thing last night. He could have brought him in late in the game, pinch hit.
Little jam shot. Scooter Gennett will make the play, and that'll be out number 2.
And Brewers winning the game in 10 innings. Could have used LeMahieu, but Walt Weiss figured the batting title is more important than winning the game last night.
Gold Glove second baseman, and could be putting a batting title on his mantle as well. 2-2 game, bottom 5. 2 outs for Martinez. Here is Tom Murphy now, the Rockies catcher. Dodgers have scored a run in San Francisco. The Giants lead 5-1 now, bottom of the 4th. Trying to eliminate the Cardinals. Cardinals have a 1-0 lead going into the 5th inning at home against Pittsburgh. Toronto has now taken a lead. Blue Jays up 1-0 over Boston. That just happened. Toronto getting an RBI from their second baseman Travis. Hit a home run in that game. Blue Jays win. They are in. Isn't it amazing? You play a 162 game schedule. And it comes down to the last day for so many teams.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that 08 season in Milwaukee. Brewers had to win, Mets had to lose on the final day of the season. Had the Mets won, they'd have been the wild card team. That was back when there was just one wild card entry. And sure enough, the Brewers won the game in dramatic fashion. Ryan Braun hit a bottom of the 8th inning home run off Bob Howry to give the Brewers the lead, and the Cubs. And then CC Sabathia would finish the game. He would go the distance. And then about an hour after the Brewers game ended, the Mets would lose to the Marlins. And it was a former Brewer who dealt a big blow in that game, remember? Wes Helms.
For the fish. Who couldn't forget that? I mean, really?
Well, it was great.
Great
moments in time.
Great days in Brewers history.
40,000 people at the game, never left, just stayed there and watched it on the video wall. 2-2 the count. Murphy slashes one right field, base hit. It's going to get down into the corner. Played well by Santana, and Murphy is in with a double. Rockies have had a hit in every inning. And another extra base hit puts the go-ahead run at second base.
Hitting every inning, but Charlie Blackmon has the 2 hits that have driven in both runs. There's a nice piece of hitting by Murphy, taking that pitch, lining it down the right field line. A 2-out double.
Murphy had a key hit last night in a pinch hit appearance. Tied the game in the 9th, a blown save for Thornburg. That game the Brewers would eventually win, though, on a Carter home run, making this the rubber game. The winner wins the series.
Jacob Barnes with the save last night.
Yeah, Jacob had his first career major league save. Pitching the 10th inning. 2 outs for Jordan Patterson, the Rocky first baseman. To left, hit well. Elmore turns and runs and can't get it. It's off the wall. A run is in. The Rockies take the lead. Jordan Patterson with an RBI double, and it's 3-2 Colorado.
He had 2 hits today. He had 3 hits last night. This guy swings the bat pretty well. This one to the opposite field, a line drive over the head of Jake Elmore. That's a nice swing, nice balance, high finish. Gets good carry on it, and with 2 outs and nobody on, the Rockies with back-to-back doubles.
First career RBI for Jordan Patterson. He's at second for Pat Valleca. In there, a strike. 96 with a fastball from Mariñez. He's pitched mostly in mop-up roles this year. Games where you're trying to get multiple innings. You need a guy like that, and he's been terrific. Can't imagine he wouldn't have a spot in the bullpen next year if he comes back.
Throwing a lot of strikes. That's always been his issue, is throwing strikes. He's always had a good arm.
He zips one in there just off the plate. Rockies lead it 3-2. Just took the lead on an RBI double by Patterson. Brewers will have Santana, Perez, and Arcia coming up in the 6th. Last game of the season. Don't forget, Bob Uecker is going to join us in the 7th inning. Tell all your friends and all your relatives. Text them right now.
Good to see Uecker make the last series on the road. Did not make the trip to Texas, but wanted to be with the team at the end of the season. Good for him. Loves the game.
There's Mr. Baseball. Looking spry as always. There's a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. So Valleca strikes out, but the Rockies strike. They get a run on a 2-out RBI double by Patterson.
.46 p.m. 2-2 to Harvey Keene. 1 strike away. Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung out and missed. A perfect game.
The great Vin Scully in his final game of his illustrious 67-year career as we're underway here in the 6th inning in Denver. And maybe his greatest call, the call of Koufax's perfect game in 1965. A perfect game by Koufax and a perfect call by the greatest play-by-play broadcaster who ever lived. And it is a sad day that we will not hear Vin Scully's voice calling Dodger games anymore after today. He's not going to work the postseason for the Dodgers.
One of the great things about going to Dodger Stadium is to be able to have that those conversations with Vin. You go into his booth and have those one-on-one chats. I mean, those are priceless opportunities that you get with Vin Scully.
Well, he was 25 when he called his first World Series game. He was 22 when he got the job with the Brooklyn Dodgers with Red Barber, the legendary Dodger announcer. When you think about that lineage with Red Barber to Vin Scully, and Scully's still there in his 67th year. And we wish our buddy Joe Davis, who has Wisconsin ties. Joe Davis will be taking over the television play-by-play duties on a full-time basis next season. He played college football in Beloit, and he's a Michigan native, but he's a guy that's been around Miller Park quite often throughout his years, Joe Davis. And
tough act to follow, isn't it?
It is. Perez into right field. That is going to fall for a base hit, and it gets by Gonzalez. Hernan Perez on his way to second with a double. A one-out double, and the Brewers put the tying run at second base.
I guess if you think about it, you want to be the second broadcaster after Vin Scully.
The broadcaster after the guy who replaced Vin Scully.
Broadcaster after the broadcaster after Vin Scully. Yeah, that's a tough seat.
You know, there's an interesting story that Scully told us when we were in Los Angeles about this game today, his final game, coming against the San Francisco Giants. And he reminded us that he first fell in love with baseball as Arcia grounds to Arenado for the second out. He fell in love with baseball, and he remembers this date specifically. It was October 2nd, 80 years ago. He was walking by, listening to, and heard a Giants game on the radio, a New York Giants game, and that's when he fell in love with the game of baseball. And here he is, exactly 80 years later. Vin Scully calls a Giants game,
man,
with his beloved Dodgers, and that'll be it. They've had a number of tributes in San Francisco for him. We'll bring you some of those images as they come up, certainly as we get to the end of the game and perhaps Scully's last call. But Willie Mays came to the booth yesterday to see Vin Scully, and they had a great tribute there at AT&T Park for Vin. Susac on the ground to short. Adames will make the play, and maybe Vin Scully's greatest call in the World Series, 1988. You know it so well. Well, here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning from Coors Field. The Rockies lead at 3-2 on this final Sunday in the big leagues. Jan Marinez back on the mound, surrendered the run last inning. Two-out doubles for the Rockies. Jordan Patterson with his first big league RBI breaks a 2-2 tie.
A couple of two-out doubles for the Rockies in this game. One in the 2nd, one in the 5th. Both of them driving in runs.
Ground ball to second base. Nice easy hop for Jeanette. Adames is out. Well, as if there wasn't enough drama on this final day concerning a lot of these wild card teams and potentials, there is a no-hitter watch going right now. Aaron Sanchez of the Blue Jays is no-hitting the Red Sox through 5 innings in a must-win game for Toronto. Sanchez, 5 no-hit innings with 6 strikeouts and a 1-0 Toronto lead as they play in the 6th inning now.
Last day of the season can be a real good day to do that. Of course, it's a big game for the Blue Jays.
Sure is.
Mike Witt threw, it was a perfect game last game of the season for the Angels.
That's the scoreboard right now. Blue Jays win, they're in. The Orioles win, they're in. They have a 5-1 lead over New York. And the Giants with a win in as well. They lead at 5-1 at home against the Dodgers. It's a fly ball to right. And this will be the 2nd out of the inning. Marquez, the pitcher, is retired. 2 gone now. And back to the top of the order, and the best hitter in the ballpark today, Charlie Blackmon.
Hey, that brings us to today's Tavern the Game winner, the last one of the season. Kind of a sad moment right here for me. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. The Schonberg Supper Club in Randolph, if they call the Brewers. By 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen for next year, April or May. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Yeah, you and the Tavern of the Game. You're one and the same.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Mike Witt threw his perfect game with the Angels on September 30th, '84 against the Rangers.
We were in New York when there was a no-hitter thrown in the final day of the season. Was it Henderson Alvarez with the Marlins? I'm trying to remember.
And he won the game when it was a wild pitch.
It was a wild pitch. He was on deck. He wasn't going to bat.
Right. Yep.
Marinez trying to get through 2 scoreless. Tell you, if Aaron Sanchez throws a no-hitter on the day the Blue Jays secured a playoff spot, that'll go down as one of the all-time greats. Well, it is a walk, and Blackmon is on for the 4th time today. A homer, 2 doubles, and now a walk. Don't forget the MLB postseason coming to FS1. The NLDS starts October 7th. It'll be the Cubs and the wild card winner. And then you have the Washington Nationals, who will have home field against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the other NLDS. We know the Red Sox are going to play the Cleveland Indians. Texas has the best record in the American League. They're awaiting the wild card winner as well. Yeah, that was Henderson Alvarez, September 29th of 2013. No hit the Tigers in that game. And we were in New York at Citi Field playing the Mets that season, watching that game unfold. No hitters this year. 1. Jake Arrieta no-hit the Cincinnati Reds. Arrieta's second no-hitter. He's had one in each of the last 2 seasons. I think Scherzer no-hit the Mets last year on the last day of the year, right? October 3rd. I believe that was the last day of the season. Max Scherzer's second no-hitter.
I'm going to look it up.
We do have the technology. There were 7 no-hitters last year.
Yeah.
Had 1 this season. Another close play. Blackmon is a base stealer. Not to the level he has been, but always a threat to steal a base.
Yeah, it was October 3rd. He struck out 17 Mets.
Took just a quick look to see if the call was missed. It was not, according to counsel. So another throw over there. Rockies fans getting a little restless. (3-2) Colorado. Rockies scored first. Brewers took the lead, and man, Martinez.
I think Martinez just wants to do it to hear the boos.
I think he likes the boos.
Yeah.
He's like Rory McIlroy.
I think these Rockies fans want to get home for the second half of the Broncos game.
That's true. There he goes. And the throw to second base on the bag. Out he is. Martinez kept him close. Susac cuts him down, and the inning ends at second base. Caught stealing to end it. Brewers down a run. 7th inning from Denver coming up. Of the year from Coors Field in Denver, and our Carsoup.com trivia: who is the only player in Brewers history with a higher career batting average than Ryan Braun? And the answer is Jeff Cirillo. .307 career hitter, an all-star as a member of the Rockies. Had a good run here in Colorado, and terrific Brewer, and a fantasy camp coach, I might add.
More importantly.
And that's the significant list of batting average leaders in Brewers franchise history. Jake Elmore leads off for Milwaukee. We play in the 7th inning. And German Marquez, the 21-year-old Rocky starter, is pitching well. giving Walt Weiss some length today as he works into the 7th.
Yeah, had it not been for that fly ball to center that Charlie Blackmon lost in the sun, he would have had a shutout going.
There's a base hit to right, so Elmore on with a single. Drove in a run with a ground out his first at bat, so he's having a good day. And the tying run is aboard. Brewers are going to go to the bench now. Josmiel Pinto will bat. And Walt Weiss is on his way to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change here. Well, pencil Marquez in for 6, giving up 2 runs. And Weiss will take the ball, and a terrific season for Marquez, making it to the big leagues, and one of his better starts in the big leagues. And his season is over. Pitching change at Coors Field. Matt Caracidi is coming in.
The 2016 season, the Rockies have a 3-2 lead over the Brewers here in the 7th. And on behalf of the Brewers Community Foundation, thank you to all of the fans, players, and other supporters throughout the Milwaukee area that have been so generous throughout the season. BCF has once again surpassed all of its goals, and countless individuals and families have received support in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. Thanks to everyone for their overwhelming generosity.
I got a pitching change. Matt Caracidi is on for the Rockies. Got a runner at first, and Josmiel Pinto will step in as a pinch hitter. There you see the numbers on Caracidi. 19th game of the season, a very high ERA. Rockies bullpen has been their Achilles heel this season.
Caracidi pitched last night. Scoreless inning.
And Pinto fouls one away. Look who joins us now. Your name?
I was going to the bathroom. How did I get in here?
You got lost. Right?
What happened?
Mr. Baseball joins us, Bob Uecker.
I didn't have any change. I came in here to get some change for you guys.
Took a wrong turn at Albuquerque and ended up in the wrong booth.
Oh, man.
How are you and Jeff Levering getting along today?
Good. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay.
Grady, you come in last series of the year on the road?
Absolutely. I wanted to be with you guys. Absolutely. Yeah. Got here on Thursday. I wanted to be here. I did. I wanted to be here and finish up with you guys and get a chance to be together one last time for the year.
Not the same when you're not around.
No, you know what? It's not the same for me either. I'm tired of cutting neighbors' yards.
Pinto at the plate. The great Bob Uecker joins us. There goes Elmore, and the pitch is outside. Bad throw to second, but on a hop. And the out at second base. What a catch and tag by Valleca.
I think he was safe and then popped off the bag. A hard slide into second base.
I'm sure Craig Counsell and company will want to take a quick peek at this. It was a pretty tough hop. Yeah, the tag's on him, and then Elmore popped up.
Yep, he's off the bag.
And there's the out call.
What do you think of replay, Uke?
Yeah.
It's kind of changed the game, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It took away one of the fan favorites. It took away one of baseball's best things. Fans. Arguments with umpires.
Yeah.
Face
people
to face.
screaming and hollering, right? I miss that. I really do.
I'm waiting for somebody to put that headset on and start yelling into that microphone.
I think, you know what? I really think the replays take longer than the arguments did sometimes. I loved watching Earl Weaver sometimes with Ron Luciano get thrown out before the game ever started.
Yeah.
That was always really neat. Exchanging lineup cards and get 86th at home plate.
Pinto, a wave and a miss. And he's out.
They got to fix it some way, don't they?
I think there's
there's
got to be some discussion.
Yeah,
there's plenty of tweaking to
time
be
being.
You know what I don't understand? I don't understand the review. You know, they keep telling you got challenges, right? Until the 7th.
Right.
But then after the 7th, you can have as many reviews as you want.
Right.
What is
Doesn't
that?
matter, right?
I don't understand that.
Need a red flag.
I don't.
Something.
Beanbag, anything.
Maybe
you can throw.
ditch the whole thing.
Yeah, I loved managers and umpires. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
You did. You had a lot of. You heard a lot of it.
Yeah, right.
You?
And you know what Bud Selig always says? He goes, okay, you talk about the problem. Well, give me a solution. So what do you do with the expensive facility in New York now? What do you turn that into?
You know what?
Bed and
we
breakfast,
have, yeah, there you go. A message center. What's wrong with that?
A suggestion box.
This is
a $10 million suggestion box.
I mean, Western Union's gone. Let's start it up again.
Yeah.
Put ticker tapes in the booths.
All the many ideas that you comes up with when he's not.
Oh yeah,
on the road.
I know. That's why you guys wanted me over here.
I did. Yes, we did. Absolutely. Great to have you. Great to see you on the road. We miss you on the road. You know what we miss the most? Because unfortunately we don't get to listen to you.
That I wear?
We miss your 4 o'clock bus stand-ups.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, they ask me, what's the greatest part about spending time with you and being on the road with you? I said, it's not the games and being all of that. It's being on the bus at 4 o'clock. Some of your best material.
I missed the 3 o'clock bus the other day.
By the way, the bus was at 3.
That's right, I know, yeah.
6 o'clock start, right?
I thought it was at 4, yeah.
We should have picked you up, you know.
Well, I got on the city bus and I ended up about 8 miles from downtown.
Going out to Golden, huh?
Bus station's right next to the hotel.
I know it is. I know it is. I just don't want to find myself there each and every night.
Bob Uecker, as we wind down the season, number 162, playing with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. 3-2 Rockies lead it. VR would love to send one out of here for that 20th home run.
You know what we were talking about over on the radio side a minute ago, Rocky? The old caravans we used to go on.
That was fun, wasn't it?
After the season,
in the winter,
get to January and get on those buses and do the caravans all over the state.
Get a couple of adult beverages and everybody, and grab that microphone and go to town.
Oh, gee, I was talking about. We were talking about Campbellsport, Jim Gantner, of course, but all of us that were on the buses that used to make those trips all over the state for that week in January. Now we do it with the on deck deal downtown, but traveling by bus with all of us together, and I mean some great times, the attendance trophy and all that other stuff.
Well,
we
3,
had.
4, 5 days. You know,
oh yeah, it was 5 days on the road.
That was fun. Yep, you're right.
Here's Scooter Gennett and a swing and a miss. You can't help but think about, you know, today Vin Scully, his last day on the air, 67th season on the air, makes us realize how lucky we are to continue to work with you and be able to listen to you as fans. What are your thoughts about Vinny?
I appreciate that, Brian. I appreciate that. You know, Vinny's one of my favorite people. We've been friends a long, long time, since back in the early 60s. 1961 to be exact, and I've had really good times with him. He's one of those guys, you know, he's so nice all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I every time when I see him, and I apologize to him for having to call games that I played in. He always said, "Don't do that. Don't say that." You know the way he talks. I mean,
Yeah.
Runner takes off. Jeanette waves and misses, and a strikeout. Let's get a couple more stories from you. We'll let you go next inning. We'll get you back
I'm
over there
okay.
anytime.
Yeah, no, I'm okay. I can hold
We
it.
figure we'll milk the Bob Uecker cow as long as we can. But right now, we're going to stay here, and we're going to rise up, and we're going to listen to God Bless America and the presentation of Coors Field here. Enjoy, everybody, and we'll be back with more from Bob Uecker in a moment. Rockies up 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning from Coors Field in Denver. Last game of the year. Bob Uecker joins us here in the booth. Mr. Baseball closing the books for us in game number 162. And
closing the book.
Closing them up. Great to have you.
It's good to be with you guys. Always.
Thank you for coming over and giving us a little.
Oh, are you kidding? Come on, I can
time.
use the clothing. Come on.
Get a small television for this appearance, by the way. Used to do that. Blake Boyer's on the mound, Rock, so we'll continue with our theme of bullpen by committee today as Boyer will take over in this 3-2 game.
It's been a pretty good year for the Brewers bullpen and Boyer. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Rangers. And your assessment of the season. I mean, you've seen the good and the bad with the Brewers organization. Your thoughts on how the season went this year?
You know what? I'm excited, Rock. Only because of what we've seen here over the last, couple of months. These new kids that have joined the club and what David Stearns and the organization are trying to put together. But when I watch the play of Orlando Arcia or Yadiel Rivera, talking earlier about Jonathan Villar on our broadcast about the fact that he's had this big year, stolen bases, home runs. I mean, he's done some things at the wrong times in a game, which I think are going to be addressed come next spring. They have been addressed by counsel a couple of times this year when he's pulled him out of a game or sat him down for a couple of days. But, I mean, I understand VR's point, too. You got a chance to lead the league in stolen bases, chasing Billy Hamilton all that time. He's going to do things that maybe he wouldn't do in a different scenario. But I look at, made me happy last night, Jacob Barnes. Watch that guy come in the game, throw 97, 98 miles an hour, and get a save, his first big league save. But when you see some of the power on these arms of some of these guys, man, if you don't feel good about that, you don't like sliced bread. I mean, it's the way it's going to be.
It's the way the game is now. I mean, you never used to see guys, even my playing days, you didn't see guys lighting it up at 98 miles an hour. I mean,
where I got a really big kick, Rock, watching the Little League World Series this year and watching some of those kids at 13 years old throwing 85 and 86 miles an hour.
Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, come down the road a few years, I think 100 is going to be au naturel. That's going to be the way everybody does it.
It's always amazing watching big league hitters time up these big fastballs, too. They always do. It always goes back to pitching, though, and always goes back to trying to throw the timing off for the hitter. There's a base hit into center field by Dahl. So David Dahl is aboard. Clean single to center field. You look at this season and the rebuild for the Brewers, but the one constant through all the years has been your call and your broadcasting. And what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? You're the same guy every day at the ballpark. You're always a pleasure to be around.
It's sad, isn't it?
The same sad guy no, just kidding. You're always in a great mood, and you lift us up every day.
Well,
what
you guys are friends. You know that. We're all friends, and I still enjoy doing the games. I wish I could still throw batting practice, which I did for about 35 years. Rocky knows that. Yeah. But that was all part of it. And to come to the park every day and try to figure out why I couldn't play, why I couldn't do what they're doing on the field when I was there. That's why I come every day. How can they do it and I couldn't?
Right,
What's going on?
I'm with you.
Nolan Arenado at the plate for the Rockies as Bob Uecker joins us in the booth. And there's a line shot into center field. Arenado is on back-to-back singles for Colorado.
The thing, Uecker, about being in this business, we played and now we do broadcasting with the team. The thing that you miss most in the offseason, not necessarily doing the games every single day, being around the guys.
You got it.
That's the best part of it.
I'm telling you, I feel so fortunate, Rock, that they still treat me like one of the guys, and I like that. I'm the butt of jokes, whatever it may be. I'm no different than anybody else. They take a shot at you. That's okay with me too. I like that. That's what's fun about this.
I had to laugh the other day because we were asked by the Dodgers and by other outlets by our bosses at Fox to do these messages for Vin Scully, and so most of it, there's a shot. Boy, Boyer knocked that down, goes to second, out there, throw to first, not in time. And Boyer saving bodily harm right there, put the glove up in the perfect spot and is able to get it out at second base, the first out of the inning. Anyway, so we were asked to provide these testimonials, provide these thoughts about Vin Scully, and most of us, I would say all of us but one, did a real serious bit, and you know, it's a kind of a sad thing with Vin Scully retiring, and then there is yours, which I saw for the first time. And you did this whole bit thanking Vin Diesel. I can't even imagine what Scully is going to think when he sees this.
Well, he's such a good friend and a longtime friend, and I've been asked to do a lot of these deals for guys who are leaving, and I just did one for Dick Enberg, too. I did Anita Ekberg. And halfway through it,
Anita Ekberg.
Yeah, she had just passed away about 4 months ago, and I you know, did the whole thing about, I don't know why they're asking me to do this, but I mean, a great actress, and really enjoyed the films you made, and then I...
Oh, no, Dick Enberg.
Oh, Enberg. Oh, well, leave that on. I'll start over.
Only Bob Uecker could get away with that with Vin Scully. And you know, Scully said, he told us in Los Angeles, he said, the hardest interview I ever had was Bob Uecker because I couldn't keep it together.
Yeah, they asked us to do one together, and Vinny was trying to be serious, and every time he asked me something, I made him laugh. I mean, we laughed constantly. I mean, I've done one for Costas. I did a whole thing on Costas, too. And then when I got tired of talking, I said, I guess the one thing that really helped me was when you told me to turn my top hand over a little stronger to get it nice draw on the ball. That's Peter Costas, of course.
The golf instructor and television announcer.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about you, Uke. I mean, anytime you see, you know, Bob Uecker talking to somebody, that person he's talking to ultimately ends up laughing.
And that person,
that's a lot of pressure on you, isn't it? People expect it out of you.
We had one of my friends come up in the booth last night, and I introduced him as an Olympic javelin catcher, gold medalist.
Boyer dealing to Murphy on the ground.
Had some scars, did he?
It's been
I enjoyed it.
It's been a lot of fun.
Of course, enjoyed being around you guys. We're together all year long. You know, we see each other all the time, and it's a great privilege. I mean, this is a privilege to do this stuff for me. I love it. I enjoy doing it.
Well, I only ask because every fan wants me to, but you're planning to come back next year, right? There'll be no retirement ceremony. We don't.
No, not yet. The Nankai Hawks have.
That's a nice gig.
Well, I don't know if I can play. They're wanting me to try catching again, and I don't think I can do it. I may try. They've never seen me play, so why not take a shot at it?
It'd be a great organization for you. They're in a rebuild just like we are.
Supposedly, and they fly charter, which will make it nice, or electric train they have over there, too.
So maybe if things work out and you end up playing for Nankai.
I'll let you guys know.
And then you wouldn't be coming back as a broadcaster.
No, I don't think so. It'll be too hard. We get a couple weeks off, but
you're not going to be able to play every day.
That's what I'm trying to do, yes.
Going to get in shape this offseason and try to give it a run. Ground ball to Jeanette. It's always a thrill, Uke, to be with you, man. We appreciate everything you are and everything you do for us, and thanks for all the laughs.
Buddy.
You guys okay now? I can go?
Yeah.
You can go to the back.
Take care of business. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, God.
He took the wrong turn at Albuquerque. He didn't even know where the radio booth is anymore. The great Bob Uecker. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Brewers fans soaking this one up. Last game of the season. Coors Field, Denver, and Chris Carter sitting in the lead for the home run race, tied with Arenado. 2 home runs in this series. Powerball home run count 41 for sleepy Chris Carter. And he'll lead off here in this 8th inning. Be a good spot to hit one now. The Brewers are down a run, and Carter facing Estevez as the Rockies go to the bullpen. Always great to hear from Bob Uecker. We appreciate him coming over. We don't ask him to do that a lot. He's got his duties over on Brewers radio, but he does come over a few times a year, usually opening day and certainly at the end of the season. And man, what a treasure.
Yeah.
What a treasure.
Very fortunate to have had Bob Uecker and continue to have Bob Uecker all these years in Milwaukee.
And it does make you think about it. Vin Scully's final day today, and that game's coming to the late innings now with the Giants leading the Dodgers 5-1, and it's going to be a sad day when Bob Uecker is not calling games for the Brewers. He and Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle in his first year did a terrific job this year. We appreciate the efforts of those gentlemen as well. Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle. Kent Sommerfeld, producer and engineer over there on the Brewers Radio Network. Well, that's not going to go out, but Carter is going to have a base hit. So there is the tying run aboard as Carter singles. Well, the no-hitter is lost, partner. Aaron Sanchez of the Blue Jays had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning with 2 outs. Hanley Ramirez just went deep to tie the game. His 30th home run of the year. Hanley Ramirez has tied it. They haven't even posted it yet on the board.
Yeah,
it's 1-1.
The Blue Jays.
Great effort by Sanchez, but Ramirez is having a huge year. So, keeping an eye on that one. A 1-1 game. Baltimore is in a must-win scenario to make the postseason as well. They are playing the Yankees in New York. They're in the 9th inning, and the Orioles have a lead. Santana sends one down the left field line, and this is up and gone. Domingo Santana, a 2-run shot to give the Brewers the lead in the 8th. His 11th home run of the season. What a timely home run for Santana. 4-3 Milwaukee.
Boy, turn that baby around. Boy, Carter with a base hit. He dumped one into right, and then Santana turns on one. And a big fly to left. Boy, he got all that one. Yeah, fastball in. Santana able to get the bat head out and knock it out of here, so the Brewers take the lead.
Well, think about the late home runs hit the last 2 games. Yesterday in the 10th inning, Carter goes deep to put the Brewers on top. Now Santana in the 8th. And the Brewers are up a run now. Nobody out. Perez with a swing and a miss. I hope Uecker was able to get back over on the mic for that home run. It's kind of a long walk over there from the TV booth to the radio booth.
Had a pit stop to make. There he is. He made it.
I think he made it. Swinging a foul. When I say long walk, it's literally 2 booths over, so he'll be all right. There we are. Here we are. Rockies are here. By the way, that shot of the Rockies radio, we want to send our best out to Jack Corrigan. He's the Rockies radio announcer. He's on the right in the hat. And Jack, been here a long time. He's got cancer surgery coming up after the season. And we're thinking about him and hope that surgery goes well. He's confident, and they felt that they caught it early, prostate cancer. And He asked me to let folks know that go in, get your test done, check your PSA levels, get your physicals. Early detection is the key. And happy to pass that message along for Jack.
Yeah, nice chat with him before the game, and you betcha got to get it done every year. He's turned 50. Early detection, and pretty good chance it's going to come out all right.
Now here is Orlando Arcia. It's been a good inning for the Brewers. Estevez has given up a single, a homer, and now a walk. Still nobody out. And the pitching coach of the Rockies, Steve Foster, is on his way out. Rockies led starting this inning 3-2. And activity in the Colorado bullpen with Justin Miller.
Stevers looked pretty good on first game of the series on Friday, inning in the third scoreless. Having a difficult time today.
Arcia at the plate. 2 hits today for the young shortstop. Had a double and an RBI and a run scored in the second inning, and then he tripled in the fourth. There's a strike.
And Brewers have been running on Murphy. He did cut down Elmore, but he had beat the play. It popped up off the bag.
Back up the middle. Over the bag. It hits the bag. Oh, look at this bare hand play. Adames. And he gets the out at first.
Hit the bag over the glove of Valleca, and Adames able to barehand and get the throw off to first base.
Wow, that was something special. That looked like Arcia at short.
Yeah, check it out. Slow roller off the end of the bat. Check it out. That's a nice play by Adames. Good focus, good concentration to be able to make that play.
Looked like a sure hit once it hit the bag right over Valleca. Man, what a play. You're going to be seeing this one all night tonight.
Well, the good news is the Brewers able to get another man in scoring position.
Here's Andrew Susak now. Swing and a miss. Brewers are hitless with runners in scoring position today, 0 for 9. Just 4 for 29 in the series.
And that's something certainly that the Brewers are going to be addressing in spring training. Not a whole lot you can do about it. I think it's basically relaxing in those situations to drive in runs.
Susak. And cannot check a swing. That's a strike. And a strikeout for Estevez. Back-to-back outs. 2 gone in the inning with a runner at second. And here comes Jake Elmore. Orioles are up 5-2 on the Yankees in the bottom of the 9th inning. They have their terrific closer, Zach Britton, on the mound. Trying to close that one out and guarantee a wild card berth for Baltimore. A lot of former Brewers on that ball club. J.J. Hardy and Giovanni Gallardo. A lot of former Brewers scattered throughout a lot of these playoff teams, including the Rangers. With Lucroy, Jeffress, Carlos Gomez. There's a strike to Elmore.
Hey, Marco Estrada with the Blue Jays having a terrific season.
Yeah, good call. Aaron Hill with the Red Sox. It's been a nice pickup for them. 1-1 the count. And Elmore takes it inside. Last game in the career of David Ortiz today, also Mark Teixeira. And the Yankees wrapping up his terrific career. Two outs, a 3-1 count on Elmore. Brewers looking for some insurance here. Perez at second base. He runs well. Anything that hits the outfield grass, he should score. And Elmore draws the walk.
And that might be it for Estevez. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, Manny Pena is going to be announced as the pinch hitter.
As good as Estevez was on Friday, he has really scuffled here today. And here comes Walt Weiss.
Yep, he is going to make a pitching change. So the Brewers get a 2-run homer from Santana, threatening for more here in the top of the 8th inning. And Walt Weiss will make the change. Pitching change, Colorado. Manny Pena is going to pinch hit. And we'll take a break.
Looking for more. Hey, on Sunday, January 29th, it's just you and the crew at Brewers on Deck 2017. If you purchase tickets for the crew's annual Fan Fest, by December 1st, you'll get free ticket vouchers, good for select 2017 home games. Go to brewers.com/on-deck.
New pitcher is Justin Miller, and he'll come on with 2 outs. The Brewers have 2 on.
And spent some time on that disabled list. Last pitched on the 27th at San Francisco, and he got hit hard. He got to give up 5 runs in 2/3 of an inning.
2 on, 2 out. Big opportunity to stretch the lead. The Brewers take the lead here in this 8th inning on a Santana 2-run home run. Manny Pena at the plate. The Orioles have won. They have beaten the Yankees today. First game to go final. And Baltimore has clinched a wild card spot. So they'll be one of the teams in. The Blue Jays with a win today over Boston will clinch the other. If Toronto loses, though, then that opens up a lot of different options. Right now, that game, Blue Jays, Red Sox, 1-1 in the 8th. Blue Jays do have 2 on in that game. They are threatening right now. So we're watching those. The Giants are still out in front 5-1, 7th inning. Actually going into the 8th now. So it looks like the Giants on their way to a wild card spot, barring a meltdown.
Pirates and Cardinals tied at 4.
Yeah, the Giants could also make it in if the Pirates beat the Cardinals today. That game's been going back and forth. 7th inning there. O's are final. And you got Toronto and Boston in the top of the 8th with the Blue Jays threatening. Oh, and 2 the count on Manny Pena. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Justin Miller out of the Colorado bullpen. And he got him. Strikeout to end the inning. But a productive inning for the Brew Crew. A Domingo Santana 2-run home run. And the Brewers take the lead. Santana with his 11th of the season makes it 4-3 Milwaukee as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Oh, Jeff, our pleasure. You've done an excellent job for us on our Brewers Live pre- and post-game shows on the road. Great work, always keeping us smiling with those great stories, interesting nuggets from Jeff Grayson. So here we go now to the Colorado 8th inning. The Brewers have taken the lead. Carlos Torres is on to pitch. Speaking of leads, the former Rocky Troy Tulowitzki just knocked in the go-ahead run in Boston in the 8th inning. 2-1 Blue Jays on a Tulowitzki RBI single. Huge moment there at Fenway Park. So while the Orioles have clinched, the Giants are getting closer. The Blue Jays now have the lead late. VR moves over to second base. Yadiel Rivera comes in. That's his silhouette there in the shade. As Counsell tightens up defensively. Jeanette is out. And Carlos Torres, who's been terrific this year. There's a called strike 3. Valaika struck out.
Man, that's 4 for Valaika. It's been a rough day. Last game of the season for Valaika. On the backwards K. Well, Carlos Torres, how good has he been? Catching that outside corner. And Scott Berry rings it up.
Sticks the landing, does Susak. And a strike called. 1 away. Here is Adames now. There's a strike. Well, we were watching the National League batting race. Daniel Murphy did in fact pinch hit today, made it out for the Nationals. So DJ LeMahieu is going to win the batting title this year for the Rockies. As a matter of fact, Walt Weiss could use him to pinch hit today. He can go 0 for 1 and still win the batting title. There's the second out. Adames rolls out, 2 gone in the inning. LeMahieu sits next to the home run and RBI leader in the National League. So right there, those two players represent the batting average, home run, and RBI leaders in the NL.
Getting Triple Crown sitting right there.
And they've got company over at first base with the Brewers and Chris Carter. We will see Arenado bat again. He is currently due up 4th right now. Brewers are hoping he bats in the 9th inning with nobody on. Chris Carter, meanwhile, is due up 3rd in the 9th. So we're going to see them both. Can one break free from the other in the home run race? Tapia, the pinch hitter. Raimel Tapia, young infielder, good hitter in the minor leagues in the Rockies system.
Another young kid getting an opportunity in the big leagues as the season winds down. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Gregory Polanco over there with the Pirates. Long, lanky, left-handed hitter.
Two and one to Tapia. Torres trying to make it a 3-up, 3-down inning. Brewers have not had one of those here today. And a ground ball is going to roll through for a base hit. So Tapia finds the hole between first and second, and now Torres has his hands full with Charlie Blackmon coming up.
And just dropped their hands on that baseball, that cut fastball down and in, and able to find the hole just out of the reach of Chris Carter. I'm not even sure that was a strike. It was right at the bottom of the strike zone. Good piece of hitting to extend the inning.
Tying run at first, go ahead and run at the plate, and the power hitting Charlie Blackmon, who has homered tonight or today, hit a leadoff home run, the 10th time of the season he has led off with a homer. Ties a major league record. 3 out of 3 today with a walk, 2 doubles, a homer. He's driven in 2, sitting on 29 home runs and 82 runs batted in. He's had a monster year for the Rockies. First inning, just as we were getting underway here, Rockies leadoff man launched one out of here against Tyler Cravey.
Down and in, and that's exactly where that cut fastball from Carlos Torres ends up. You got to be careful with that location.
Blackmon started play today 4th in the league, and there's a base hit. Another hit for Blackmon, his 4th of the game. Tapia to third base, and now the Rockies threaten here with 2 on and 2 out.
Dangerous spot to pitch Blackmon, down and in. You know, we talked about that when we showed you the home run. Down and in has been a hot zone for him today, and Torres gave him a cut fastball in that exact spot, and he knocks it into right field.
Well, what a day. Charlie Blackmon 4 for 4 with a walk, on base 5 times.
That's the way to finish the year.
A triple away from the cycle. His batting average is now .324, which is going to get him in the top 4 in the league. So it'll be David Dahl now. Singled his last time up. First and third, 2 gone. Brewers clinging to a 1-run lead in the final game of the season. Dahl a little bit late, fouls it away. Appreciate the effort of these two teams. It's easy to mail one in when you're not in contention and just go through the motions, but we haven't seen any of that today. These guys are playing hard.
Good defense. There's no errors. Swinging the bats.
Brewers took the lead on a Domingo Santana 2-run homer. Dahl fouls one away. 0-2 the count. Susac wants to go through the coverage here with runners at the corners. Blackman is certainly a stolen base threat, and he carries the go-ahead run as well. It's important to keep him at first.
No, that's the thing. I mean, if he does steal, the question is, do you throw through or just let him go? Risk if you let him just take second.
And he got him. Torres strikes him out. Big pitch when it counts. Carlos Torres with a scoreless 8th, and the Brewers hang on to their lead. As the Rockies threaten, Torres punches out Dahl, and we go to the 9th.
So fortunate we have 16 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren. My wife Sandy at the other end of the booth. It is a tremendous collection, and boy, are we lucky. What a way to celebrate your last game, having a family here with you. And meanwhile, family, it's time for me to go back to work. So I love you. See you later.
As only Vin Scully could do it, and he's only going to have the chance to go back to work for 2 more innings. Vin Scully wrapping up his tremendous career, unprecedented career. By the way, they had a nice moment. Our broadcasting buddies, Mike Krukow and Dwayne Kuiper, Dave Fleming and John Miller, they surprised Vin Scully with a 7th inning stretch. Krukow interviewed him in front of the crowd that was there and on television, and they had a nice moment. They sang the 7th inning stretch together, and Giants fans honoring Scully with "We love you, Vin" placards that they can take home. So nice work by the San Francisco Giants. Great rivals indeed, but beautiful acknowledgement of a man who has had
no rivalry when it comes to Vin Scully, that's for sure.
Yeah, those two could come together here in the postseason, the Giants and the Dodgers. And while everybody would love to hear Vin Scully call that series, he said he will not participate in the postseason. He's not going to call play-by-play. He'll leave that to those who are on the job, even though our network, the Fox network, asked him to come along and call the playoffs.
Not sure what that was right there.
Well, maybe VR is making sure he gets a strike to hit. He's probably got one more at bat to try to hit that 20th homer, and that was
a game to win here. That's exactly what he did.
He sort of did that his last at bat when he walked, and now he's in a 2-2 count.
I mean, we're in a one-run game. I mean, if he walks, he's at first base. Can steal, get another run. Not sure if that's going to sit very well with his manager.
He's had 2 hits today, a double, a single, does have a steal. He's walked. And he got him. Strikeout. So he wanted the at bat and he lost. Ends up striking out. That'll bring up Yadiel Rivera for the first time. Looking ahead to the Colorado ninth. Nolan Arenado will lead off. Then Cargo, and then Tom Murphy, the catcher. Chris Carter is due up next. There's a bouncing ball to Arenado. And a good throw for the out. 2 gone in the inning. And here comes Carter. One last chance to homer in this game, perhaps. Carter and Arenado sitting at the top with 41 home runs. Carter today is 1 for 4. He had a key base hit in the 8th inning, right before the Santana 2-run homer that gave the Brewers the lead. Arenado is 1 for 3 with a walk and a single today. And each are going to get an at-bat. I would imagine it's tough to hit right now, partner, with the way the shadows are creeping out around the mound.
Yeah, pitcher and the hitter are both in the sun, and then in between is all shade. Makes it difficult to pick up the spin, and I'm sure Tyler Thornburg is hoping that's the case when he goes out there for the bottom of the 9th.
Thornburg is ready. Last 2 opportunities, he has blown saves. You know he'd like to finish on a high note. 1-2 to Carter. Outside, ball 2. Rockies took the lead in the 5th inning. RBI double by Patterson. That's a high fly ball into center. That's going to stay playable. Blackman is over, and he's got it. And Carter sitting on 41 homers. Arenado will lead off. He's sitting on 41 homers. Tyler Thornburg trying to keep it that way. by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And we're coming right down to the end. The 9th inning and the final game of the season. 4-3 Milwaukee. A 2-run homer by Domingo Santana in the 8th has him on top. And now we'll see if Tyler Thornburg can close the deal. Our Miller Lite What's on tap? Nothing tomorrow. Next time we'll see you, opening day at Miller Park. It'll be the Brewers and the Rockies. The same matchup tomorrow to get the season started. April 3rd and a Monday afternoon. All right, Rock, Tyler Thornburg on the mound to try to lock this one down.
6 months from tomorrow we'll be back on the air. It's going to go fast. Yeah, Thornburg has had his problems his last 2 appearances. He's had blown saves, but overall very good numbers. He's got the heart and soul of this batting order to get through. Arenado, Gonzalez, Murphy.
Well, and certainly Thornburg thinking about the win first, but the stakes with Arenado and the chance to win the home run title by himself with Carter watching at first base. And a wave and a miss. Good breaking ball from Thornburg. It's quickly 0-2 on Arenado. Meanwhile, in St. Louis, the Cardinals have erupted against the Pirates. Cardinals now lead that game 10-4 in the 7th inning. Giants still lead in San Francisco, however. There's a shot into center field, a base hit. He broke his bat, but he's on.
0-2 base hit. Pitch just a little bit too good on 0-2. Tried to stay away from Arenado, and he's able to hit the 0-2 pitch. Got ahead fastball, curveball. Well located, both of them. And now the curveball that he had problems with in yesterday's game, down in the dirt, check swing, and a little bit too much of the plate that time. And Arenado starts the 9th with a base hit.
Well, and now Carlos Gonzalez is at the plate. A dangerous power hitter who's hit 25 homers this season. A strike. Gets ahead of him. Thornburg, a fly ball pitcher. Not a great match here in Coors Field in Denver. He throws a curveball and he's a fly ball pitcher. It's hard to get those two in this ballpark. Fly balls fly here.
The thing about Carlos Gonzalez, I mean, you just can't pitch him away because he's got power to left field. Got to get it down and away. That's your best chance for a ground ball against this guy at the plate.
9th inning, Brewers lead by a run. Right off the end of the bat, good pitch. 1-2 the count. Thornburg deals and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Changeup from Thornburg that time, and a good one. Gets a big K. First out of the inning. And one away for Tom Murphy.
I think Thornburg has realized that the curveball is a tough pitch for him in this altitude. So the changeup back to back and able to get him on strikes. That's a nice pitch. Look at that location right on the outside corner and down.
You wonder if Thornburg will just ditch the curveball here. It's so hard to throw in Denver. Nice to have a third pitch to call on, though. Murphy up and in with a fastball, fouls it back. Murphy had the key hit last night against Thornburg that tied the game. It was a pinch hit appearance, a double, and it came with 2 strikes. Has had a double today, Murphy. Doubled and scored in the 5th. He scored the go-ahead run at the time. And a little bit low. 1-1 the count. There's a shot foul. The pitch yesterday for Murphy was a line drive that he turned around into the corner and left yesterday. He's a pull hitter.
Yeah, it was a fastball, but that last fastball that Thornburg threw to him way in off the plate.
Murphy's double in the 5th inning was down the right field line. Big decision coming here for Susac and Thornburg. What do you throw Murphy? Here it comes, and it's a curveball, and on his way to second goes Arenado. That curveball is giving Thornburg fits and getting him in big trouble here lately.
And that's a big base right there for Arenado. And now a base hit, scores a run, ties it up. Just unable to square the shoulders up. Trickles away, and now he's in scoring position.
Wild pitch has the tying run at second. 2-2 the count. And he got him. There's the breaking ball he's looking for. When he needed it most, he found it. Murphy strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Thornburg. 2 gone in the 9th. With the tying run at second base.
Yeah, far and away his best curveball here in Denver in 2 days.
Got to give him credit for sticking with it.
Yep, down in the dirt, and Susac able to keep it in the glove.
So it'll be Jordan Patterson. Rockies down to their last out. He's been a tough hitter. Patterson with 2 hits today. Drove in a run with a double in the 5th inning. His first major league RBI.
Yeah, 3 hits yesterday. So yeah, tough out. And you got a guy on deck that has, or actually there's a pinch hitter, but the Vallecas spot is due up next, who has struck out 4 times today. Cardulo's on deck. Might want to be careful here, although that's the winning run at home plate. This guy's been swinging the bat well.
Missed with an opening changeup. He's behind in the count. And that one's in the air, right center. That's down for a base hit. Santana comes up firing, and it's late. On his way to second goes Patterson. We are all tied. The throw gets away. And now a throw into third is late, and the winning run stands 90 feet away. And another blown save for Tyler Thornburg. His 3rd consecutive blown save on this road trip.
And that's that guy again, Patterson. You know, we've been saying it for 2 days. This guy's a tough out. He doesn't hit the ball all that hard right off the end of the bat. Really not a bad pitch by Thornburg, and he dumps it into right. Ill-advised throw by Santana because there's no way Arenado's going to get caught at home plate. So 2 bad throws. Santana should have just thrown it into second base. And then Susac probably should have just held on to it.
So that'll be a single and an RBI for Patterson. Or a double and an RBI, I should say. Correction, single RBI. E2 allows Patterson to third base. Steven Cardulo at the plate, pinch hitting. Rockies tied up in the 9th on a 2-out RBI single. And a ground ball to Arcia. And we are going to extra innings. To the 10th we go. Extra innings at Coors Field. Extra innings are presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. And here we go to the 10th inning, getting a little extra baseball in this 2016 season.
Do you? Let's keep playing.
Let's keep playing. Why not?
I have 6 months off. At least I will. You got
Tony,
baseball to come.
Tony Walters is in at second base. Cardullo will stand to play right field, and here is Domingo Santana, who gave the Brewers a lead in the 8th, as he leads off the 10th.
It's all extra practice for postseason for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Feel bad for Tyler Thornburg. Boy, he had it going on this year, and to blow saves in his last 3 games, I mean, this is going to send him to the offseason in a bad place mentally, you would think. Santana pops it up. Adames back in the grass, and there is out number 1.
It's Ed Patterson. He's been doing that the entire series. Off the handle, off the end of the bat, but always finds a way to dump it into the outfield, and he got the Brewers once again. Tyler Thornburg is going to finish the year on a down note.
Tough. Here's Hernan Perez. Takes a strike. Still a few games in progress. The key matchup we're watching now, the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, they're in the top of the 9th inning. 2-1 Toronto. There's a chopper up the middle. Walters is over. The throw to first is in time. And Perez immediately calls for a review here. He thinks he was safe, and I think he was too. Craig Counsell and his replay team will have a look. Perez dove. I'm not sure why he dove for the base.
Now you get through the bag much easier. You just run through it. Close play at first base, but the call on the field is out. Pretty close.
I think he might have got him. Yep. No replay, no challenge. And Perez is out. I think the head first slide might have cost him right there. Nice play by Walters just into the game. Two outs for Arcia. And a strike to Orlando. Everything's final in the National League postseason picture. The Giants beat the Dodgers today 7-1. And so the Giants will go to New York to play the Mets in the National League wild card game. That'll be Wednesday night. Arcia fouls it away. Got to give San Francisco credit. The Cardinals put all kind of pressure on them, taking the lead in their game against the Pirates, but the Giants beating Kershaw yesterday and then coming back to win today. There's only one postseason spot remaining, and the Blue Jays are 3 outs away from grabbing that spot.
And first time in, what, 5 years the Cardinals haven't made the postseason?
First time in the Matheny era of managing. There's a shot off the foot, and that's going to find its way into shallow left field, and Arcia is on his way to second base. The throw there, Arcia is off the bag. He's called safe. Boy, if Walters keeps the tag on him, he's going to be out, but that is a hustle double by Orlando Arcia.
Yeah, good work by Orlando Arcia not to give up on the play. We've seen that from him since he's got called up. Off the foot of the pitcher, realizing it's taking Dahl a little bit of time to get there, and he just keeps going. Well, they keep the tag on him and don't do the swipe tag, he's going to be out. I mean, he slid second base by quite a bit. Got to keep that tag on the runner.
And they will go to a challenge here. The Nationals, or rather the Rockies, feel like the tag was there in time. And let's take a look. This will be the definitive angle here. Foot on the bag there, tag there. So it looks like he'll be safe.
I mean, I'm not sure why you're even challenging that.
And they just showed the replay here in the stadium.
Yeah, he's safe.
Well, it's going to be, I think, overturned, or rather, it'll be upheld, or call will stand.
I mean, I'm not sure what Walt Weiss saw there that would tell him to take a look at that. We've seen him, yesterday on a hit batter or a potential hit batter.
Here comes the call. Safe. So the Brewers have a runner at second base now. The go-ahead run here in the 10th inning.
Maybe a double for Arcia. He's had a good day at the plate.
Arcia with 2 doubles and a triple today in his final game of the season. Batting average of .219 as we stand. All right, so Andrew Susac, 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts, has a chance to deliver a big one. Brewers are hitless with runners in scoring position today. Rockies tied it in the 9th on a 2-out RBI single by Patterson. Susac trying to put the Brewers back on top. Susac deep into left field. That is way back. And there it goes. Andrew Susac with a 2-run home run. And the Brewers are right back on top. Susac's first big league home run of the season.
Boy, he gave that one a ride after having a tough time at the plate. He'd already struck out 3 times. Every time he's had an at-bat today has been with a man in scoring position, and the Brewers finally able to cash in with a man in scoring position today with a big fly by Susac. And fastball middle in, and he gives it a ride to left. Well, the Brewers with a home run last night in the 10th inning. Chris Carter.
Yeah, right about in the same spot, as a matter of fact.
And now Susac.
What a huge moment for him. Andrew Susac. Talk about leaving a lasting memory, huh? Yeah, Susac knows he got that one. Pump of the fist. Potentially a game-winning home run. Brewers lead by 2 now, and Elmore a swing and a miss. Wow, what a thrill. This game is so great in so many ways. It's a game of redemption, right?
It is.
And Susac, who is just scuffling at the plate. 3 strikeouts and 4 at-bats. Gets a chance in extra innings and comes through. Walters, nice play. Throw to first is in time. Wow. 2 terrific plays by Walters. But Susac gives the Brewers the lead. Memorable home run for him. His first as a Brewer, could be a game winner as we go to the 10th. To leave a memory, and boy, did Andrew Susac do that. 10th inning, 2-run homer with 2 outs, and the Brewers have the lead 6-4 now as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning. And Craig Counsell is going to call on Corey Knebel to try to save this one tonight.
Yeah, gave up a couple of runs, but only one of them earned last night in an inning of work. And it's up to Knebel to be able to have this 2-run lead hold up. He came in with a 3-run lead yesterday. You see his numbers overall, 483, much better his second time up after missing a lot of time on the DL.
Christian Adames will lead off for Colorado. Two-run home runs late in this game. Domingo Santana hit a 2-run shot in the 8th to put the Brewers on top. And after the Rockies tied the game in the 9th, Susac with a 2-run homer to put them back in the lead. Oh, and 2 the count on Adames. He's trying to get to the finish line here without having to face Nolan Arenado, who is due up 5th.
Yeah, but Charlie Blackmon no walk in the park today.
Yeah, Blackmon hasn't been retired today, and he's a triple away from the cycle.
Deal with him regardless.
Inside for a ball.
It would be nice to face him with nobody on. That's the guy.
He's due up 3rd, Blackmon. Broken bat, ranging over his VR. And there's out number 1. I'll say thanks to our terrific crew at Fox Sports Wisconsin all season long. All of our great technicians, and camera operators, and audio technicians, video, great tape operators. We have a tremendous crew and our Fox Sports Wisconsin family. All led in the truck by Brent Reeland and Mark Vittorio, producer and director. Brian Michalogic on graphics. Lisa Rodriguez running the tape room. Thanks to Dan Keener, another one of our producers as well. James Stewart, pre and post game producer, and Adam Bryant III, our other director.
What are we going to do without having all those folks telling us what to do all the time?
Share a lot of laughs. We get bossed around quite a bit.
We're going to be on our own.
I'm sure our wives will handle that with no problem. Thanks to Renardo Lowe as well, helping us out this year, filling in to direct. Descalso a swing and a miss. Our media relations crew deserves high praise. Mike Vasallo, Ken Spendler, Zach Weber. We thank those guys for all the great work that they do and all the terrific information they provide.
Director of Team Travel, Dan Lorea, for having rooms for us everywhere on the road. All the transportation goes without a hitch every time.
Dan Lorea and Matt Smith coordinating all the travel for the Brewers. 2-2 the count to Descalso. Big curveball misses inside. And one guy we need to thank for all these years, his tenure with the Brewers is coming to an end. Joe Crawford, who works with the ball club down in the video room. There's a swing and a miss. Knebel strikes out Descalso, and 2 men are out, and the Rockies are down to their last out in the 10th inning.
Man, this is the way you want to face Charlie Blackmon with nobody on base with a 2-run lead. I want to thank you, partner. Heck of a year. You had a good time this year. Our 10th together.
Yeah, how about that? A decade.
Good job. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you, sir. Same to you. Always enjoy
watching.
Coming to the ballpark with you, Pards. Great guy to work with. We got a great team here. And Sophia Menard and Telly Hughes, our terrific reporters. Been a lot of fun this year. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Brewers baseball, and we've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Hopefully the ball club's going to just keep getting better and better. There's a lot of hope with this team right now. Two outs. Knebel trying to nail down the save. Susak's on his way out, and now he's calling the athletic trainer out. I don't know if he spotted something here with Knebel or not, but Craig Counsell is going to head to the mound with athletic trainer Dave Yeager. Well, he says he's good. He's grabbing it, or looking at his right leg maybe. He's going to have to show he can continue to pitch. Says he's all right. He's giving a thumbs up. And Knebel will remain. So Blackmon in a 1-1 count. He's had a monster game today. Homered to start the game, had a double and an RBI in the second, doubled in the fourth, walked in the sixth, and had another hit in the eighth. 4 for 4 with a walk.
He's due to make an out.
1-1 pitch outside for a ball. Now the Toronto Blue Jays have just won, so the Blue Jays are in. They beat the Red Sox, and the postseason is now officially official. The competitors for the World Series.
Hard to believe how close it all was for the wild card, and the last week that there's no play-in game, no playoff game for that final wild card spot, but that's the way it works out.
Toronto and Baltimore will be the American League wild card game. Mets Giants will be the National League wild card game. Two-two pitch. Blackmon fouls it away.
And that's where you want to pitch this guy right now, up in the zone. He has been wearing out everything down.
Two-two. Blackmon at the plate. Knebel deals, and a foul ball, a big hack. That's the danger zone for Charlie Blackmon. You see a pitch go down and in like that. That's where most of his success has come.
Yeah, I mean, that one was almost in the dirt.
Yikes.
If you're going to go down on him, that's where you want to put it, down around the shoe tops.
Well, let's see what Knebel has in mind. 2-2 the count. And he got him. That's it. A foul tip into the mitt. And the season is over. The Brewers finish with a win. They avoid a 90-loss season. Chris Carter will share the home run title with Nolan Arenado. 41 bombs for Carter. And the 2016 baseball season has come to an end as far as the regular season goes. So now we're on to the postseason. We'll have some fun watching that. The Brewers will get ready for 2017. And Milwaukee, a winner today, winning the series against the Colorado Rockies. Been a lot of fun, partner. We'll do it again next April. How about that?
Yeah, 6 months. All season's going to go fast. Good luck in the postseason once again. And once again, thanks for everything. It was a good year.
Thanks to our great crew. The Brewers are shaking hands for one last time. It's time for Brewers Live. We'll send it over to Jeff Grayson. He's standing by in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios. We've got more for you coming up from Coors Field in Denver. Take it away, Jeff.